All right, Improvement Pill here. I want to welcome you guys to the webinar. And like I mentioned before in a lot of previous videos, we're going to be talking about a concept, a high income skill that you can add to your arsenal that will drastically increase the amount of money you can bring into your life. And today I'm actually going to be hosting this webinar with a close friend of mine who's also someone who's been personally mentoring me over the past couple of months and has allowed me to drastically increase the amount of money that I've been making every single month this year by a lot more than I was making last year. Dan Lok.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Rich. And by the way, I want to do a quick sound check here. If you can see my screen and hear my voice, you've got audio and video working correctly. Just type in "Yes, Dan" in I could hear you in the chat box. And because sometimes with technology, a chat gets disabled something, but don't worry about it. If the chat isn't working exactly perfect right now, just go ahead and try to input it anyway. So let's get on with today's training. I'm excited to be hosting this also with Rich. And so on behalf of Team Danlock, I welcome you. If you're serious about actually making at least $100,000 a year, maybe $500,000 a year at the upper end, and if you're an overachiever, and I don't know if you're not, maybe even $1 million or more, you are at the right place. And here's what's even better. Because there are a lot of ways to make money online. And Rich, you've tried a lot of different things. Of course, you have a very successful YouTube channel. But most of them we know involve selling your soul, putting yourself out there in some way, shape, or form. That I believe all the money in the world wouldn't be worth it for what you have to exchange to get it. Just before the webinar, Rich and I, we were just talking about, fame. It's good, but it's sometimes not. It's not what it's cracked about to be, right, Rich?
Exactly. A lot of ways to make money in life, the way we're taught, it's basically like you have to work your ass off. You have to put in even more hours to make even more money. But there are better, smarter ways to think about making money.
Correct. And what am I talking about? I'm talking about forget cold calling, forget prospecting, and forget MLM and network marketing, and forget e-commerce, forget Amazon, forget Shopify, forget buying a Facebook ads, and forget building websites, and forget funnel and WordPress and all these things. And in some cases, in what we are going to talk about today, I'm talking about forget social media, forget podcasts, forget YouTube, forget Instagram, forget Facebook. Forget the thing that's invented tomorrow and then it's forgotten the next week. I'm telling you, I'm going to teach you. I'm going to show you the oldest thing in the world for making money that everyone else is looking at, by stepping over to pick up a dollar bill when there's $1 million sitting in front of them and they just stepped over. I'm also going to show you undeniable proof how you can make $40,000 to $250,000 plus a year with nothing more than a computer, a phone, using skills that you could master and learn in a weekend. I'm also going to teach you the one thing. I'm going to teach you, any one of you on this webinar, if you're serious, if you have a big enough reason why to truly join the high income earner that we're creating all over the world, I'm going to teach you exactly the one thing you need to make that happen. Now, here's the deal. The reason I'm teaching you this today is not because I'm just some beloved, amazing, wonderful, one-of-a-kind human being, which I am, but I'm not Mother Teresa, okay? And I'm not even doing this for the amount of money that it could make me. Because if I were to teach you something and build you up and build your business and say, hey, you know what, give me 10% of your business after I make you a millionaire, doesn't that sound fair to you? I'm doing this because I'm on a mission. I've already achieved absolute fame and success in my life. Using the secrets that I'm about to share with you, I became a self-made millionaire by the age of 27 and a multi-millionaire by the age of 30. And my story has been featured in numerous publications and popular podcasts like Entrepreneurs on Fire, Built to Sell, Marketing Props, Venture Millionaire, and so many more. And I've written more than 13 books, and many of them are international bestsellers. My story has been featured on the cover of the iconic Concierge magazine and the Jet Set magazine, alongside with Richard Branson, Daniel Craig, and The Rock. My YouTube channel, currently we have over 200,000 subscribers, and it's growing very rapidly every day. But Rich has way more subscribers, over 1 million subscribers, but I'm catching up. And my official Facebook page has over 1.3 million followers. And my videos and articles have been viewed more than 40 million plus times across all of my social media platforms. As a speaker, I've been a 2 times TEDx opening speaker, but all these things pale in comparison to the goal that I've set for the next year. And that goal is to create 1,000 six-figure earners from scratch in the next 12 months. My question to you is, would you like to be one of them? If so, then the next hour we're going to spend together are truly going to be the most life-changing hour that you're going to spend online this year. Does that sound good to you? If so, go ahead and type in yes in the chat box. There are 2 reasons why I'm on a mission this year to create 1,000 six-figure earners, at the very least, 6-figure earners to add to my team. There's a noble reason, which is obviously it's my mission. And I take it very seriously because I want to do good in the world. And that's why I have so much free content on social media. Every single day I'm uploading a video. Every single week I'm doing a podcast. I want to help a lot of people because a lot of people are struggling right now. But there's also a darker, a more sinister reason why I'm doing this. But I'm not going to tell you right now why that is until I explain the whole process to you first. So here's what I'm going to do. Today, I'm going to walk you through 4 powerful secrets and show you how to make that FU money as a high ticket closer. If you're on this webinar, I would assume that you've already read my book, FU Money. Rich, you've read my book, FU Money as well. Mm-hmm. And people sometimes ask me the question, so then exactly what does that mean to have FU money? I'm not talking about a little bit of money. I'm talking about making enough money to finally say, fuck you, to your boss, to your job, to things that you don't want in your life, where you get to a position where you don't tolerate. I'm talking about making enough money that you travel first class. I'm talking about making enough money that you don't need to commute or travel if you don't want to. I'm talking about making enough money. I'm talking about buying that car, that house that you've always wanted without worrying about the payment. I'm talking about being able to provide for your family and give them the best of the best. I'm talking about writing a check to help the people that you want to help without even need to think about it. That's what we're gonna accomplish today. Because I believe most people, they play not to lose instead of playing to win. There's a way for you to win this game, but it's very different from the way that you've been playing it. So my question to you is, are you playing to win? If so, go ahead and type in yes in the chat box. And by the way, if there's something, the chat box is acting a little bit weird, don't worry about it. Technology, the good thing is, you don't need to be, I'm still trying to figure this shit out. So don't worry about that. You don't need technology to make a lot of money. He's Dennis White, one of my students. So I just turned 18 back in July. And the biggest problem I ran into selling my marketing services was me not having the right mindset on a higher amount of money. So earlier back in August, I found Dan Lok on YouTube and it changed my life. I just closed my first 5K per month client at 18. Dennis is 18 years old. My next goal is 50K a month. Thank you to Dan, you've changed my life. I'm getting my FU money now. So before we proceed any further, I want to establish some ground rules, okay? Rule number 1, no excuses. I don't want to hear about how you don't have the money. I don't want to hear about how you don't have the time. I don't want to hear about how you're from a third world country. I don't want to hear about how you're too young, you're too old, you're a man, you're a woman. Or I don't want to hear about how your English is not good. I don't want to hear any of that shit, because here's what I've learned in life. You can either make money or excuses. If you want to make money, then just make money. If you want to make excuses, well, then you make excuses. But I've never met anyone who was good at both. So excuses or money, your choice. If you want to make excuses, then let me make my first excuse for you. Your internet crashed. Leave this webinar right now. However, if you want to make money though, then we're going to talk about rule number 2. There is work involved. Nobody got rich doing nothing. This is not get rich quick. This is get rich smart. If you think you're going to sit around and do nothing and meditate and and somehow money will fall on your lap, then this webinar is not for you. That's not what I teach. Because I believe money earned is a byproduct of value creation. People get rich every single day because they exchange value. And if you think you can steal money from somebody and make money, or if you think you can trick somebody and make money that way, or you need to take advantage of someone and somehow you make money, or somehow if you make money, then someone else loses money. If you think that's the way that it is, then you are in a rude awakening, because that's not how the world works. Now the trick though, right, Rich?
Yeah, I want to chime in right here is something that I've learned myself over the course of the last year, especially trying to make more money from the things that I teach. And one of the things I realized was that in order to get money, in order to get really wealthy, you have to provide the market something. You have to be able to fix a problem. And that's what value creation is, when you can fix somebody else's problem. And in order to be able to fix people's problems, you have to work hard on yourself, work hard on what you know, learn more in order to be able to have the skill set to be able to fix other people's problems. So that's value creation right there.
Correct. And the trick is to work smart instead of just working hard, right? And also the trick, I believe, is to work in a specific way that I'm going to teach you, because I've done it all. I've tried all kinds of business models. The idea is this: for now, I want you to understand that there's some work involved. But I will tell you that I've seen people say, oh, that's too much work for me. And then they go back to the 9-to-5 job, the job, making $40,000 a year. And then I'm confused, because this takes a lot less work than that and makes a lot more money than that. And makes a lot more people happier than that, but it is work. So I want to be very, very clear. There is work involved. If you believe in making money without work, then I'm not the guy to help you. And this webinar is not for you. Rule number 3. This is very, very important. I speak the truth and only the truth. Whether you want to hear it or not, whether you like it or not, whether you agree with it or not, whether you're offended by it or not, I speak the truth. I'll tell you what works. I'll tell you what doesn't work. Now, if you can't handle the truth, then you could also leave the webinar right now. So I'm going to be blunt. I'll be blunt if I come across as offensive, because Rich has gone through the program. Rich has learned from me. You know my style, right? That if I use coarse language, it's only because this is what I found that needs to be said. That's not being said anywhere else. It's not being said on Instagram or these fake social media posts. It's not being said on Facebook. It's not being said anywhere. And I think that's the reason why so many people are struggling, because they are hearing and worse, believing that these half-truth and misinformation. So let me tell you something first. The truth will set you free, but first it will piss you off. It will piss you off. So do you understand that? Type in the chat box and say, I could handle the truth. So those are the 3 ground rules. No excuses. There's work involved, and I tell the truth, and I don't sugarcoat. Do you agree to these things before we proceed further? If so, let me know right now. Go ahead and type in yes before we begin. So let me quickly tell you a little bit about myself. I was born in Hong Kong, and I came to Canada years ago with no money, no connections, and not a word of the English language on my lips. Now, English was not my first language. So my mom and dad got divorced when I was 16 years old, unfortunately, because my dad had an affair. So my mom decided that she didn't want to stay in Hong Kong. She didn't want to stay in a relationship. And that's one of the reasons why we immigrated to Canada. This is me in high school. It was during prom. I had no one to go with, and no one would date me. This is actually my English teacher. That's my date. It's pretty sad if you think about it. Now, if you can imagine going to a new country where you don't speak the language. So growing up, I didn't have a lot of self-confidence. I wasn't one of those people that was born to do some great or wonderful things, that had big dreams that I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. And I wasn't one of those people that know all the right people in all the right places, because I didn't know anybody. And I wasn't one of those people that had great talents. I was what my teachers would say, average intelligence, or sometimes below average intelligence, depends on the programs, the courses that I took. I barely passed all my courses. I was basically a C student or D student. So I wasn't one of those students that had a good education or that had a good resume. In fact, I dropped out of college. I never went to university. So Not in a million years could I ever imagine I would be writing books and being interviewed, traveling the world and impacting millions of people worldwide. Not in a million years could ever imagine I would be doing what I'm doing today, because I got into business by pure accident. I almost got backed up into this whole thing. I got into business out of necessity because I wanted to take care of the most important person to me in my life, and that's my mom, and here's my mom. I started my first business with a couple of my buddies, just mowing lawns for people in our neighborhood. And let me tell you this, the lawn mowing business is not very fun. Every day you're dealing with insects and dirt. And 6 months into it, I had allergies, so I quit. And it was very, very, very difficult. We printed on some flyers. We had a nice lawnmower, except we didn't have any fucking customers, right? So we weren't making any money. But that was my first business. At the time, the only asset that I had was a white Ford Escort sedan with 150,000 miles on it. Now, you don't see it from the photo, but the passenger door actually doesn't work. So every time I remember my mom and I would drive her to get groceries, she would have to go through the driver's side from that door and kind of climb over to sit down and also climb out every single time she needs to get out. I remember there was a local bakery that my mom and I would used to go to, and we would drive this car to go there. And the bakery closes at 7 p.m. and we'd go there at about 6 p.m. Why? Because just in time, because the bakery would slash the prices on all the bread they made for the day. And my mom and I would end up getting loads of bread for just a few dollars. And we made that bread go a long way as we eat that bread for breakfast and lunch for the entire week. I was heavily in debt. I maxed out all my credit cards. I borrowed from a lot of money from friends and family that they wouldn't take my calls anymore. I read Think and Grow Rich. Rich, have you read Think and Grow Rich?
Yeah, it's actually one of the first wealth books I read. I think I was 18 when I read it.
Nice. Have you read How to Win Friends and Influence People?
Yeah, that was actually the first self-improvement book I ever read at the age of 18.
Nice, very nice. Now the problem, so I read Think and Grow Rich, back and forth from front to back like 10 times. Problem was there was a lot of thinking, but not a whole lot of riching. Okay, and I read How to Win Friends and Influence People. Problem was I couldn't figure out how to influence my friends to loan me more money. So it was challenging. It was very, very challenging. And I was jumping from one thing to another, and nothing really worked for me. I would refer myself as I was an opportunity junkie. I had the shiny object syndrome. I was buying this course. I was going to that seminar and jumping on whatever that sounds like, even remotely sounds like I could make a quick buck doing, because I was just desperate. I was so hungry. I wanted to provide for my mom. The problem was the more I tried to search for the answer for success and riches, the more I dug myself into a hole. So yeah, in fact, type in the chat box if you know what I'm talking about. So I had the shiny object syndrome, right? I mean, if you've tried MLM on Amazon, affiliate marketing, or drop shipping, or social media, SEO, or mobile apps, or membership sites, or ebooks, and product launches, and you feel like, oh shit, come on, man, there must be an easier way to hit your financial goals. That's what I felt like. I was always like this old lady here, right? That, oh dear, this Nigerian prince needs help. It looks like I can make a few dollars too. Like that was me, right? I was so desperate. And I tried so many things like most people out there, just try to make money. And I was lost. And that's how stupid and naive that I was. Everybody had to start somewhere. Until I had an epiphany. Now, I didn't have a name for it until much later in my life. But it discovered the power of the wealth triangle, which the very first secret I want to share with you. There are three parts to the wealth triangle. The first stage is what I call high income skill. Now, I define high income skill as a skill that could make you a minimum of $10,000 or more per month. Now, notice, I didn't say high income job. Is not a job. It is not a business. It is a skill. that you could offer to the marketplace in exchange of money. So with first stage, you are trading your hours for dollars, yes, but for high dollars. Now, why is this important? Because high income skill provides you with stability, comfort, and peace of mind. This is your foundation. At this stage, you make you money. You make you money, right? You're turning your expertise, your passion, or your experience into money. Then when you get to that 10,000 a month income, then you can move on to what I call stage 2, and that is a scalable business. Now that you have a business that you can scale, you have a team around you, and now your business makes you money. And once your business is generating so much profit, now you can move to what I call high return investments. Now, for scalable business, I'm talking about a business that you could scale, grow its profit with only minimal amount of increase in cost. So if you think about it, Rich, if you are opening, let's say, a restaurant, and you want to open a second location, well, a restaurant is not a very scalable business, because every time you want to open up more locations, you have to sign a lease. You have to invest money in terms of renovations. You hire a lot of people. There are a lot of expense. So that's not what I refer to as a scalable business. A scalable business could be a software business, could be an internet marketing business, business that you could scale without a lot of infrastructure. Okay, that makes sense? Now, once your business is generating so much profit, now you can invest more into what I call high return investments, which is stage 3. And I define high return investments as investments that will generate above average, more than 10% returns on your money year in and year out. Okay, that's high return investments. So now, at this stage, at stage 3, you are building wealth and your net worth. Your net worth. Now, why is this so critical? Because if you look at most people who try to be successful, who try to make money, who try to start a business, they fail because they don't follow the wealth triangle. And I've been there and I've done that, right? That, let's say you see this on even Shark Tank or Dragon's Den, that people, they've got this idea for a board game, for a widget, for a product, and they want to start a business. They want to start a scalable business. They mortgage their homes, but they have no business skills or experience whatsoever, right? And what happens, right? And they lose all their life savings. And you can see on TV, right, they're so emotionally attached to the idea. Even they have lost hundreds of thousands of dollars, and no, it's going to work. It's going to work. Well, what if it doesn't work? They don't have the high income skills that they could fall back on. Or they are just an employee. They're making $30,000, $40,000 a year, and they try to speculate in real estate or cryptocurrency. And what happens? We all know. They lose everything. I mean, these, to me, they're dreamers, right? They're not actual entrepreneurs. So if you think about it, if you follow the wealth triangle, the high income skills, it provides you with income. So it pays your bills. You don't have to worry about money. You're taken care of. Then stage 2, your scalable business provides you with cash flow or profits. Then you can take that profits. Now you can build your net worth. So it's a very, very powerful cycle. Here's what I've learned. You cannot shortcut this process. If you want to be financially successful, you absolutely do not skip the steps. This is making sense to you.
Yeah, I just want to chime in here real quick. So many people that I know, especially at my age, right out of college, they basically have their whole life savings. They save up money for a couple of years and they try to start their own business, selling a product, or they create a new app, but they don't ever develop a high income skill. And that is a big, big problem. You have to follow the order of this triangle. Develop a high income skill first, then focus on a scalable business. And then when you have enough money have enough cash flow from the business, then you can focus on investing. Because if you skip the high income skill and you just jump right into the business, say something goes wrong, say, you need an extra $10,000 to create more products to fill an order, and you don't have the ability to make money on demand, then the business is screwed. Having a high income skill, developing a high income skill will allow you to say, hey, I need $10,000 right now. I can just go out, trade a couple of my hours, make $10,000 like that, and then pump it back into my business. That's why you have to follow this triangle to the T. You have to follow it in the correct order.
Correct. And this triangle gives you clarity. If you don't know where you're at in terms of your stage of growth, you look at this, oh, okay, I'm actually at stage 1, but I'm trying to do stage 3 type stuff. Well, that's why you're doing it wrong.
Mhm.
Or you're at stage 2, but then again, you're trying to do stage 1, vice versa. So this gives you a lot of clarity. This is the roadmap. You know exactly where you know what, I'm only making a couple thousand a month, or I've got a job. What's the first thing you got to focus on? Develop your first high income skills. Now you've
Mhm.
got a couple skills that are making you 10,000 a month. Then maybe now I can look into some kind of business, some kind of scalable business I could get into. Then, or if your business is making you so much cash, you don't know what to do with. Well, now you know I can take the money and invest. It's very simple. I follow this model to the T my entire career. And I can tell you this, over the years, I've gone through ups and downs, just like business. Business has ups and downs. My life has ups and downs. But because I've always focused on developing and continue up improving my income skills. Doesn't matter some years, maybe my investment loses money or my business loses money, but I always have my high income skills I could fall back on. And that's why the name of the game is not getting rich. The name of the game is staying rich. Now, once I got this concept, let me circle back. So I went to work. I stopped looking. I stopped looking for opportunities that would make me rich. I stopped looking for that, lack of a better word, the magic pill, right? I stopped looking for that next shiny object that would make me successful. I asked myself the one fucking question that forever changed my life. And that is this. What is the one high income skill that I could develop today that would free me from financial struggles and worries forever? It's very profound. I'll say it again. What's the one high income skill that I could develop today that will free me from financial struggles and worries forever? Now, this time, I wasn't looking to become a millionaire overnight. I wasn't looking for some magic pill that would make me successful. I was looking within myself. And the very first high income skill that I developed was copywriting. That's how I got started. My first mentor, he taught me how to write ads. In case you don't know what copywriting is, if you watch the show, TV show, The Madman, it's kind of like that. That was writing ads and marketing literatures for companies and entrepreneurs. And that's when I learned about marketing and selling. And within a year, in my early 20s, I was making $10,000 a month as a copywriter. I was a young guy. And now it may not be a lot of money to some people. For a young guy, it was a lot of money. That felt like $1 million. That felt really good. And later on, I developed my next high income skill, which is consulting, because I noticed a lot of my clients were coming to me and they were asking me, well, Dan, now you wrote the sales copy for me, but how am I going to use this darn thing, right? And then I would start to consult with them. So I added another 6-figure annual income, and then it's public speaking, and then it's marketing and deal making and investing, and eventually to high ticket closing. My high income skills bought me this Audi R8 when I was 26 years old. This was a younger version of me when I had the spiky hair, right? My jeans, rich. And over the years, right, my high income skills have made me tens of millions of dollars and will continue to make me tens of millions of dollars till the day I die. I use those very same skills, those very same skill sets to grow and continue to scale my companies. Then I take those earnings and I invest in real estate. That's my formula. And today my investment portfolio spans the globe, including real estate, digital marketing, education, and private equity. And of course, I've got friends who I care deeply about, who care about me. And of course, I've got my love of my life, Jenny, who's been with me for now more than 10 years. We've been together for more than 10 years, been married for 4 years. She's also my best friend. So she's awesome, awesome. And I bought my mom a home in Taiwan a number of years ago. People ask me the question, Dan, out of all these things that you've done, what's the thing that you're most proud of? And I always tell them, out of all these things that I've done, the thing that I'm most proud of is for the last 8 years, I've fully provided for my mom so that she doesn't have to work. That's what drives me. And today I enjoy a very comfortable lifestyle that I myself could not have imagined. This This is my home. My primary residence is a 4,300 square feet home with 6 bedrooms and 7 bathrooms with a view of the water in one of the most expensive cities in the world, Vancouver. It's got a theater room, it's got a sauna room, it's got a massage chair, library, a gym, the whole 9 yards. Literally, if you go to YouTube, you type in Daniel home, you'll probably see it. You'll see it before and before the renovation and after renovation, you can see that. My secondary residence is a $15 million penthouse in Cole Harbour, Vancouver. I call that the Daniel headquarters. That's where actually I work and I live. And that's where I have all my meetings, as well as where my team works from. This is the very same penthouse that Mel Gibson, Liam Neeson, and Chris Hemsworth have stayed in. And now it is my home. So I want you to think about it. From a $2,500 limo to a $250,000 Bentley. What I'm about to show you is something that might shock you. It might even disappoint you in this highly sophisticated technical age where we think the next thing is virtual reality or AI and blah, 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 right? Would you believe that the most powerful tool that you have within your grasp right now that can immediately turn you from a broke nobody that's ever heard of you to a rich somebody VIP that everyone respects you is the telephone? It is a telephone. Oh, now you might be thinking, come on, Dan, really? The telephone? Yes, because what transformed my life is this, all because I've dedicated my life to being a high ticket closer. That's it, a high ticket closer. Because here's what I've learned. Everything that you ever want, other people already have them. Money, context, resources, you name it. All you need to do is close them. Now imagine this. Now, because some people, as Rich, you've gone through this, and a lot of people, they have a negative association with closing and sales. I want to hear your perspective, right? When it comes to sales, when it comes to closing, what's your view?
Well, I actually come back from a background of sales. I was a door-to-door salesman for 2 years, and there is definitely a stigma with salesmen. People just associate salespeople with sleazy. They try to trick you. They're trying to just take your money. That's the only thing they care about. But what I actually learned from those 2 years of sales is what I consider to be one of the most powerful skills in my arsenal today. It's the reason why I have such a large YouTube channel. It's the reason why I am considered to be fairly successful in my life. And it's this power of closing, this power of persuasion, being able to sit down with someone that has something that you want, that you can also benefit at the same time, and being able to convince them that you are the person to do business with. That is the most powerful wealth generating skill on this planet. For millions, it's been the most powerful skill ever since humans started using money.
That's correct. That's correct. So, because some people, they think, oh, but I'm not a salesperson. I don't want to be a salesperson. I always tell people this analogy that imagine a father and a child. And the child asks his daddy and say, hey, daddy, can we just have some candy for dinner tonight? And as a responsible dad, and you said, no, because even though you wanted that candy too, but you said, no, son, no. And then the son is like, oh, daddy, come on, please. I want to have the candy. And then as a father, and say, well, yes, but you could eat the candy, but you have to eat your healthy vegetables too, right? And the child said, oh, but why? They don't taste as good as candy, right? And he said, well, because when you grow up, son, I want you to be healthy and happy. And when you grow up, and I want to be there for you too. So I want to be happy and healthy too. So sometimes it means that we have to eat food like vegetables in order to feel good and be healthy. And of course, we can always eat, candy for dessert. And the child said, okay, that makes sense, Dad. Thank you. What do you call that? What do you call that? You can call it whatever you want. I call that closing. Because that's the easiest way to describe it. You could call it to help somebody out and put anything they put it out there in the world to convince somebody to say yes, or to something that they want to say yes to. We call that closing. I don't care what you call it. You can call it money. We can call it helping somebody and getting paid for it. We can call it serving somebody else's needs and having them exchange for money that's less to them in value than what they got in terms of service. It doesn't matter. But to me, I don't think it sounds as good as closing. Renee, One of my students, I can't believe it. I just closed my own father on his health. For months, he has been suffering from kidney problems and avoiding a treatment that would naturally cure him. Of course, it requires him to commit to a procedure for 21 days straight, something his unpredictable job just don't allow him to do. We had a heart-to-heart talk in which I used our HTC, which is what I teach, high-tech closing methods, to help him to realize how important this was to him and got to the root of why he kept putting it off. I'm proud to say that at this very moment, he is on his way to the store to buy the ingredients for his treatment. Thank you, Dan, K. Von Desmond, and HTC family for all your inspiration. We can help willing people save their own lives with what we're doing. From the high ticket to the priceless things in life, let's keep growing together. Everything you ever want in life, other people already have them. Money, contacts, status, resources, romance, happiness, fulfillment, you name it. People already have them. You don't need to create anything. All you have to do is close them. Close them. He's another one of my students, Aaron. So let's talk about closing here in dating. This is the area where I've seen strong, unexpected, but very much welcome results in ever since joining HTC. Even help Aaron in his dating life. I wouldn't have Jenny in my life if I didn't close her. Okay, I wouldn't be married if I didn't close her during the proposal. Everything you ever want in life, you think about it. Other people already have them. You just need to close them. All my wealth, success, and fulfillment comes from my ability to close. And there's a big difference between salespeople and closers. I'll explain a little bit later in a moment. But there's a big difference. Now, I want to teach you something very important here. Personally, I think the whole concept of financial freedom is obsolete. Because what I've learned is this, that just because you're free today, it doesn't mean you're free tomorrow or 2 years from now. Because in life, don't we go through ups and downs? I still remember when I made a bad investment in a real estate deal, suddenly I'm suddenly less free. Right? Companies that made billions of dollars could go bankrupt overnight. So I believe that financial freedom is an illusion. It doesn't exist. I know that online a lot of people talked about it. Oh, you want to be financially free? It doesn't exist. It is an illusion. Okay, so then if it's not financial freedom we're going after, then what are we going after? What's the goal? I say don't aim for financial freedom. Instead, aim for financial confidence. Yes, financial confidence. Develop the skills and confidence and the ability to make money on demand. So it doesn't matter what happens in the economy. It doesn't matter if you lose everything tomorrow, because knock on wood, if I lose everything tomorrow, I know I could make it back. See, that's true stability. That's true freedom. That's true security. It doesn't matter where you are, right? Rich, you're in Thailand. I'm in Vancouver. It doesn't matter. We're not relying on a third party or even an investment to provide for us. Type in the chat box if you're getting this, because this is very important. Because it never ceases to amaze me how most people think of nothing of buying a car or a plasma TV that costs them tens of thousands of dollars. Basically a liability to do that. But when it comes time to buying financial confidence, it's such a major decision. I remember a number of years ago, I was speaking at a business seminar, and it was a 2-day event. It was a 2-day seminar. And I was one of the keynote speakers. In fact, I was the very first speaker on the day. And after my presentation, I just stayed there. I sat at the front row seat. I sat there as an audience. And after about 30 minutes into the second speaker's presentation, I stood up and started walking to the back table. And people were looking at me and they thought, well, maybe I was bored. Maybe I was thinking of going back to my hotel room. No, I was going to the back to sign up for the speaker's education. Because you see, I know what I want. I know what action I need to take to better my life. I don't need someone to wait for someone to tell me to stand up and go to the back. And the staff in the back, they said to me, but Dan, you don't know the price yet. I said, it doesn't matter. Here's my credit card. I don't care how much it costs. But then you don't even know what it is yet. You don't know if it's a course, a seminar, a CD, a DVD. You don't know what you're getting. I said, it doesn't matter. Here's my credit card. Just sign me up. I want what he has to offer. I need the same thing for the third speaker, for the fourth speaker. Now, on that day, I must have invested about $7,000 in my own education. Finally, one of the staff couldn't help it. He said, Dan, can I ask you a question? I said, sure. I don't understand. Like, don't you know enough about like building wealth and making money? Like, why are you signing up for all these courses? You're already a millionaire, for God's sakes. I mean, you teach this stuff. And I said to him, dude, listen to me. How do you think I get to become a millionaire? Like, duh, right? Isn't it interesting how people sometimes who need the information the most, they don't seem to be seeking it? I mean, Rich, I'm sure you have seen people that they say they want it. They you know clearly, you can see that they need the information, but they're not seeking it. Why?
So true. So true. I actually want to jump in on this. I have a lot of friends that they always tell me like, hey, I want to live the life that you're living. I want to be able to travel around the world, work from my computer. But the funny thing is they never ask me how I did it. They just say, hey, I want it. But I'm here thinking like, hey, I've done it. I've built multiple businesses online. You could just ask me. I'm your friend. I'll tell you for free. I'm not going to charge you for it. But the funny thing is they've never, ever asked me for it. And it's because they don't understand the concept of, keeping your knife sharp, keeping it sharp so that in the future, when something comes around and, you might lose your job suddenly, you have that financial confidence, the skill set to be able to make money on demand. They just don't understand.
And that's why I noticed. I mean, do you have friends? In fact, let me ask you this. Do you have friends and family that maybe they could benefit from being on this webinar, but they're not here, right?
Absolutely.
So it's exactly like that. And that's, in fact, maybe they're even being negative about it, right? If you're listening to this, that, oh, you know what, you listen to another webinar, make sure they don't sell you anything, right?
Excuses.
That's what it is. And here's what I've learned. Stop taking advice from broke people on how to get rich. Sometimes the people who love you the most, they're the one that mess you up. Sometimes they call family and friends. What I've noticed is this: high performance people, rich people, we don't worry what other people think. It's not their business. Just think back in your own life. What if you didn't care so much what people think of you? Where would you be today? Just think about that. When you're in your 20s, you're very concerned what other people think about you. When you're in your 30s, you don't really care that much what people think about you. And when you get into your 40s, you discover the truth. Nobody was even thinking about you at all, okay? They were all busy in their own day-to-day lives. They weren't even thinking about you. Would you agree that millionaires, we think differently from poor and the middle class? Put in a chat box, actually. Would you agree that millionaires, we think differently from the poor and the middle class? We do. We think very, very differently. Our minds just function differently. And my job here today is to help you understand the distinction and start making some more powerful decisions. You see, that $7,000 investment has made me over $100,000 in the first 30 days. I got all my money back the first day I used the material. You see, write this down. Making money is not difficult. Money is math. Money is math. It's very, very important. Millionaires, we think in terms of return on investment. ROI. You hear this term a lot. ROI, return on investment. You buy something for $7,000 and it makes you $100,000. How many of you think that's a bargain? Put in a chat box. In fact, let me ask you this question. How many of you would want me to sell you something for $7,000 that would make you $100,000? How many of you would want me to? If you're not saying yes right now, I cannot help you. I mean it. I've got nothing to teach you because nobody can teach you because you don't get it yet. Your mindset is so locked into, I don't want to buy anything. I just want to make money. Well, I don't blame you. I used to think the same way, and I was fucking broke. I see it all the time. People get in their own way. I mean, over the years, Rich, how much money you've invested in yourself?
Actually, quite a lot. Quite a lot. One of the reasons I was able to find success online was I actually went down this route of when I first started. I don't know, obsessed with the fact that you could learn stuff free online. So I said to myself, okay, I'm gonna consume this free information. I'm gonna build an online business without spending a dime. And I spent 6 months, lost thousands of dollars. Every method, every website I tried, it failed. And when I finally decided to invest just $50 in a course, because I said, it's just $50. Why not? For once, I'll just try it. I'll risk $50. And from that one course, I was able to break the $1,000 per month mark just from $50. And from then on, I was like, wow, what other valuable information is out there behind those like $1,000 courses, $2,000 courses? If I could get this much from a $50 course, if I could make $1,000 per month from a $50 course, how much could I make from a $2,000 course? And ever since then, I've been consuming a lot more expensive courses and I've been making a lot more money.
There you go. There you go. And that's why the problem is with free information, quote unquote, it's free. Because it's free. That's the problem. I think poor people, they have this mindset of, they always, I can't afford it. Just like, it costs us too much. I don't have $50. I don't have $1,000. Right? I remember when I read the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki's got a very, very profound quote that I like. He said, when you say the statement, I can't afford it, it actually shuts down your thinking. A much more powerful, profound question to ask is, how can I afford it? By asking that right question, your mind opens up and looks for answers. You see, millionaires, we don't care how much it costs. We think ROI, return on investments. We want to know how much it can make us. That's all that matters. If we think the investments is this much and it makes me that much, let's go. But except it's a shift in mindset, isn't it? You can look at something and say, just like Rich, well, $50. I don't want to spend the $50. Well, but make him $1,000. That $1,000 course, the $2,000 course, and so forth. You can look at it as an expense, as a cost, or you can look at it as an investment. Because I could give you the skills. I could give you a step-by-step system of how I do what I do. But if you don't make that mental shift, you'll find a way to take yourself out of the game and you'll find a way to self-sabotage your own success. I've seen this all my life. Is that making sense to you? So type in the chat box if this is making more sense. Rich people, we ask the question, how can I make it make me money? How can I make it make me money? It's a very different type of question. You see, it opens the possibility. How can I make it make me money? Secret number 2, why high ticket closing is one of the most high paying and most in-demand professions in the world. I believe high ticket closing is the most powerful high income skill that you could develop that could get you to that 5-figure, 6-figure income quickly and easily. Have you noticed this? That your average entrepreneur is too busy running their business. The marketplace is more competitive than ever. Cost of advertising is going up. The old days, remember, Rich, the old days of slapping something together on a website and making money with it. I mean, those days are over. Because most of the things that you see being sold today online that are under, let's say, $200 are simply designed to get a customer in, to get a customer to break their wallet out and say, hey, start doing business with whoever that's selling to them. The real money is after the first $200 is exchanged. That's when these companies and entrepreneurs realize, now we've got their attention, now we've earned their trust. We need to follow up with them specifically to offer them programs and services and products between $3,000 to $25,000, or even $50,000 or more. I refer these as high ticket offers. Write this down, very important. High ticket offers. And here's the thing, it's virtually impossible to close these high ticket offers just on the internet. These high ticket offers need to be closed on the phone. Now, Rich, you've got a little bit of experience with this. I know you've closed a couple sales. Share
Mhm.
that experience with your audience.
Well, actually, before I met you, Dan, I actually didn't know about this concept of high ticket offers. I was under the assumption, like most people, that, if I charged $500 for a 3-month program, I have a 3-month habit building program, that $500 was enough. And when I first started doing this program, when I first started working with clients for 3 months, I immediately felt like, wow, $500 for the amount of time I'm putting into these people
Mm,
isn't that much. I
mm,
definitely deserve to be charging more. And it was around that time that I actually bumped into your content and I started consuming it. I was like, wow, now that I think about it, there are definitely people who charge like $10,000, $50,000, $100,000 for their services, because there's tons of people, tons of companies out there with that sort of money in their budget to fix their problems. And I
correct.
thought to myself, like, why am I charging $500? I mean, like, what? I'm basically doing slave work. So I decided, okay, I'm just going to try this. I'm going to take what Dan said with a grain of salt, but I have this mindset of, hey, why not just try it? So I decided to charge $5,000 for
It's
the
and
service.
add another zero. That's beautiful.
Yeah, yeah. And I got on the phone and I said, there's no way this is going to work. I got on the phone with 20 people, right? I sent out an email saying, hey, I have a couple spots open for the habit building program. It's a 3-month program. We're going to fix your habits, fix your addictions, all that stuff. If you're interested, jump on the phone with me and we're going to talk about the numbers and all that stuff. And I said, okay, there's no way $5,000 is going to work. But I jumped on the phone with 20 people and 3 of them said yes. And I was like, what? For that, I made $15,000 in about 4 hours, right?
Mm,
And in order for me to have made that money with the strategy I was using before, I would have to sign up with 30 people. But
mhm.
instead, this time I could only work with 3 people. And it was such a huge shift for me. And it was at that moment that I realized, hey, this is probably what other successful entrepreneurs are doing. They're not charging $500, they're charging $10,000 because, well, they can. That's how much their product or their service is worth.
Correct. And
Yeah.
more than that, you notice also the quality of the people who invest
Mhm.
$5,000 versus $500, right?
Oh yeah, I want to chime in on that. It's funny because when I was charging $500 for the program, I had people that sometimes they just wouldn't show up. They would lie to me over the phone. They would say, "Yeah, Rich, I'm doing all the things you're telling me." But ever since I started charging more, I actually had 100% success rate. Every single person I worked with, they were the best clients I've worked with in my entire career. They
Correct.
showed up every day. They're on the phone. They're excited to be working with me. They sound so motivated. It's such an interesting dynamic.
It's skin in the game. And what I've learned is the
Mhm.
more you pay, the more you pay attention. It's the same, essentially, think about what Rich has done. It's essentially the same program, the same service, added
Mhm.
another zero. Now, way more profit, but also better, happier, and more successful clients. And that's what people don't get. Now, you might be thinking, but okay, Dan, I got this. So, what has that to do with me? This is where you come in. All these business leaders, they spend a fortune every month generating leads, converting those leads, running webinars, doing email follow-ups, making videos, publishing content. But here's the thing, they don't make the real money until a high ticket closer like yourself or me gets on the phone and closes these high ticket offers for them. And when you do, they're happy to pay you 10 to 15% commission if you can do that for them. You can be the rainmaker. It means you can make an incredible income without ever creating a single product, running a single ad, cold calling a single person. Let me prove it to you. I want you to imagine you are running a relay race with Usain Bolt, okay? And he's running the first 399 meters, and he's handing you the baton, and you're running the last meter, right? Now, think about it. If you guys, you're racing against any other team, and he hands the baton to you at the end, and you take that one step, you finish that last meter, are you part of that winning team? Who gets all the glory? Who gets all the fame? Who gets all the applause? The person who crossed the finish line. That's who. That's you. Let me ask you this another way. Does anyone win a race if they don't cross the finish line? Here's what's happening online. All these entrepreneurs and companies, they're focusing so much their effort in getting into the race, to train for the race, to condition for the race. And they start running the race and they get all the way to the very end and they shot their wad before they cross the finish line. And this, I'm not just talking about one or two people. I'm talking, this is coming from a one-person influencer to Fortune 500 companies. And that's why they need you. Because all these people are coming to me every single day and they're almost to the finish line, but they don't have enough energy or know-how to take just one more step. And boom, you come in and you help them cross the finish line. And you know what they do when you do that? They reach into the pocket and they say, hey, listen, this is my prize money from winning this race, $10,000. I want you to have $1,000 of it. Even though they did 99% of the work, but you did the 1% that matter. You help them, you cross the finish line for them. You got it? You like the idea? Type in the chat box if you like that idea. In business, you have to understand this. Whoever can make it rain controls the game. Whoever can make it rain controls the game. And I know that you might be thinking, but Dan, I don't want to be a sleazy, slimy salesperson. I want you to imagine this. I want you to imagine a situation where you're knocking door to door. And you're saying, hey, I got a fire extinguisher here. You need me to put out a fire for you? You're interrupting the neighbors while they are busy. You're knocking on the door and they just put the baby down and now the baby's awake. They are pissed, you know, or someone else is on an important phone call and you've interrupted them. This is what I call cold calling. This is what this is. You're knocking on every single door, hoping that you can find somebody to put out a fire out in the house, right? That's not what we do. What we do is the opposite. I want you to imagine a different scenario where you're walking down the street and you just so happen to have a fire extinguisher in your hands. And someone runs up to you and says, oh my God, my house is on fire. Can you put it out for me, please? It's right there. And you look over there and sure enough, the house is on fire. You go over there and you put it out for them and they say, thank you. And then the person says to you, oh my goodness, thank you so much. What can I do to repay you? Here's all the money I have in my pockets. Please, please, this is my thank you to you. And you say, you are welcome. That's high ticket closing. That's the difference. High ticket closing is getting someone to ask you for what you're selling and have them believe it was their idea. They are literally asking, whatever you're selling, please, please, I am buying. What makes it very, very different is this. You see, why it's so valuable to these businesses is because they've done 99% of the work to attract the people, to attract the customers. And these people, they just don't know what they don't know. And if you give them the extra 1% or the extra 5%, and then they're saying, well, gee, why did I ever think about not saying yes to this immediately? Because at the end of the day, we're talking about one human connecting with another human, right? Wouldn't you agree that it's harder to do that over in the internet, over like a web page where you're just reading words or on an email or in a tweet, right? Don't you think it makes sense the people that you care about the most? Like, don't you like the people, think about the people in your life you care the most. Don't you call them, talk to them on the phone? The people that you want to help the most, the people who have helped you the most. Didn't you do it in person or over the phone? It's exactly the same. You're going to be talking to people, and that's the beautiful thing. That's the wonderful thing about this, because you are going to talk to a certain specific type of people who've already put up their hand and say, hey, I need some help with this, but they haven't been helped adequately enough yet. And you are the type of people that, you know what, maybe I could help you. Maybe you can answer some of those questions. That's what I'm talking about. Right? There are ways, of course, there are ways you could cold call people. You could call people who haven't been warmed up. You could talk to people who haven't gone through the process. And they're ethical, very comfortable ways of doing this. But listen, let's not even go there yet. Let's have a deal. Once you make your first 100K, you decide this is something you want to do, and you want to make it, you want to make more money, and maybe you want to consider adding that to your repertoire. We can help you do that as well. But for most of you on this webinar, I am talking about high-ticket closing. How do you deal with people who are coming to you? There are plenty of people, just lines and lines of them already waiting for you just to help them make a decision that they're already wanting to make. They just need to talk to a human first to help them make the decision. I mean, Rich, do you believe you would have closed those $5,000 sales without talking on the phone?
Impossible. Like a lot of people out there, they know they have the problem and they just need, they're basically sold on the idea already, but they need some human connection over the phone just to confirm, like, yes, this is the right decision, just to see that there is someone on the other side that's willing to help them. They don't want like a program or a machine helping them, which is what it seems like when it's just a website. They want an actual human being. And that's basically what high ticket closing is.
It's exactly it. So who is a high ticket closer anyway? A high-ticket closer is a doer, a positive-minded achiever, an aggressor. A high-ticket closer is a compulsive, driven person with a desire to win, to succeed, to sell, to become the best, and nothing less. So what makes you a high-ticket closer? I believe high-ticket closer is someone who can and will do more than any salesman ever dreamed about accomplishing. A high-ticket closer is someone who knows how to warm up to people. He or she knows how to get clients feeling good about themselves. He or she has a way of building his or her clients up so much that they cannot possibly say no. A high-ticket closer is a special kind of salespeople that people like and people get excited with, people believe in, and people feel special around. A high-ticket closer is true and convincing, someone who is sincere and authentic. Rich, how many people you have to talk to close those 3 clients?
For me, it was about 1 in every 5.
That's a good percentage. It's almost 20%. We're not talking about talk to 100 people, maybe one will say yes, no. It's 1 out of 5. 1 out of 5. So why high-ticket closing is the highest paying part-time profession in the world? I'm going to give you some reasons here. Reason number 1, high profits due to low or no overhead. What do you need? You just need a computer, a telephone. You don't need fancy equipment. You don't need software. You don't need an office space. Rich, where did you close those phone calls? Were you in an office? Do you need any fancy equipment?
It's funny because it was late at night. I was at my parents' house visiting them, and I just wanted to try it out. So I had my computer out. I sent out the emails. It was like 9 p.m. I was in my underwear. I was just jumping on my personal cell phone, calling these people. And I was just, wow, like, yeah, type in this credit card. Okay, no problem. I'm just in my underwear in my parents' house.
That's beautiful. That's closing in your underwear. That's awesome. Yeah,
literally.
You know, and here's the thing, you don't have to spend money building websites, creating landing pages, running ads, driving traffic, buying software, building funnels, etc. Your client, the expert, is doing all of that for you. Reason number 2, predictable and stable high income. You can make $10,000 a month working with just 1 or 2 people, with just one entrepreneur, 1 company, and 1 thought leader. You don't have to worry about getting new clients. In fact, your clients are more worried about you leaving them. And I'll show you why. Reason number 3, you can get started now. You can start very fast. You don't need to be an expert. You don't need credibility. You don't need to be well-known. You don't need a marketing budget. Your client has all of that already. You are selling you. You're not selling you. You're selling them. I'll say that again. You're not selling you. You are selling them. And that's why you can make a great income. Just start making a great income in as little as 60 days from today. Reason number 4, freedom. This is truly a freedom-based business. You can work when you want, where you want, and how much you want. And you never have to drag your family and friends into some bullshit MLM deal. You only talk to warm prospects who actually want and need what you offer. And here's the beauty. Reason number 5, no product creation or service delivery needed. You don't need to create the products. You don't need to deliver, quote unquote, the coaching, run the workshop, fulfill the services, because you're selling other people's high ticket offers. You don't need to buy inventory or try to get products from China like Amazon or create any of the content. Reason number 6, low stress and very low tech. You don't need to build a massive email list. In fact, you don't need a list at all. You don't need to learn complicated marketing techniques. All you need to know is good telephone skills. To me, it doesn't get any more low tech than that, right? Rich closed those sales in his underwear with a little cell phone. That's it. That's it. $15,000. Reason number 6, and he's the most important one, happier clients. Because you're actually helping the expert personally, they will get results. You are making them and yourself a lot of money every month. Everyone else in the company is an expense, but you, as a high ticket closer, you are the profit maker. They'll love you for it. This is a high profit, stress-free side hustle or high income skill that you can be very, very proud of. You can be very proud to call yourself a high ticket closer. If you're selling any of your own products and services, the ability to close high ticket sales on the phone will easily double, triple, even 10x your income. Well, in Rich's case, that's exactly it. From $500 program to a $5,000 program. That's a 10x in terms of pricing. And I won't be surprised later on, you might bump it up to $10,000.
Oh yeah, that's the plan.
Right? That's what I'm talking about. What changed? The program has not changed. All has changed is its ability to close. That's it. It's Kiva. Thanks to Dan's teachings, I'm now, as of today, at $71,500 in gross sales with 75% profit margin. I will hit 100K this month. All this was accomplished after 3 calls, 9 hours, weeks 4, 5, and 6. I joined at week 4. I used the techniques taught in those 3 calls. No script. I'm grateful for this amazing family and team. Today, I moved a new buyer from $18,000 to $33,000 in one 44-minute call. I'm looking forward to more Sunday closings. There's very little relationship between being good at what you do and getting paid. There's a huge relationship between being good at what you do and being able to close and getting paid. I see a lot of people say, oh, I love what I do. I'm so good at what I do. It doesn't matter because there's very little relationship between being good at what you do and getting paid. He's Sue. This video is for you, Sifu. They call me Sifu, which in martial art term, because I'm a martial artist, means mentor. And the rest of the HTC family, using your teaching, practicing role play, applying into my daily business life. I was able to increase my income today, listen to this, by $32,250. I'm so pumped I had to share. The ability to close sales is the number one skill that you need to be successful in life and in business. I don't care what industry you're in. I don't care what it is that you do. I don't care what it is that you sell. The ability to close sales is the number one skill that you need to be successful in life and in business. And one thing I have to talk about, about Rich, you can hear it. He is very, very articulate. He's a very good communicator. He's also a closer. Even every single time you make a video, that's a form of closing. Mm-hmm. Whenever you're conveying an idea, you're teaching something, that's closing. Everything is closing, right?
Absolutely. In order to influence people, in order to change the world, you have to be able to close people on certain ideas. And that's why it is without a doubt, number one skill that everyone should be developing. Screw college. This is the skill you should be focusing on because I guarantee you it's going to make you much wealthier and much happier.
Mm-hmm. Secret number 3, high-ticket closing is the easiest money that you'll ever make. Again, your average CEOs and entrepreneurs, they're very busy in their own businesses. They're doing speaking gigs. They are running workshops. They're coaching clients. They're working with clients. They're creating content. They're running ads. They're writing emails. They're doing product launches. They're making videos. They're managing the team. I could go on and on and on, but I think you get the idea. These successful entrepreneurs, they know they need to be doing high-ticket sales. And they know that they are leaving hundreds of thousands of dollars, even millions of dollars on the table. But here's a big but. They don't have the time or the ability to close these sales on the phone themselves. They are busy, or sometimes it's just bad positioning, and they haven't got a clue where to find and hire high ticket closers. They don't know how to train these people and turn them into high ticket closers, but they have an advertising budget. Because with the way that I teach all my students, we only work with PWM, players with money. Here's just some examples that I found on Facebook. Would you like to earn a fantastic income comparable to what doctors make by helping people achieve their dreams, all while working from home or from anywhere in the world? Would you like to be on the phone with pre-sold prospects every day who are eager to speak with you? Would you like to earn $500 per sale or more with no cold calling? Sales experience is not essential, as training will be provided. However, this role is not for everyone. Here's another one. Would you like to earn $500 or more per enrollment? Would you like to be handed at least 5 red-hot pre-sold inbound leads every day to talk to with zero cold calling? Would you like to be on the phone with prospects they have already said yes 10 fucking times before they even get on the phone with you? Here's another one. I'm hiring another sales superstar ASAP. Doesn't that sound like urgent to you? As we've been growing very quickly. We do around 30 to 40 new front-end sales a day and sell with $2,000 and $10,000 packages weekly. Looking for one superstar to hire. Here's another one. We are hiring one to lead sales at an established and growing startup. We have over 100 customers. Here's another one. Hiring an enrollment coach. Ladies, do you want to earn $5,000 to $10,000 a month from your home, office, kitchen table, in your pajamas, helping people reclaim their health? I could go on and on and on and on. This is basic business. There's a lot of demand in the marketplace and little supply. When that happens, there's a fortune to be made. That's how money is made. Basic economics, supply and demand. Here's Andres, another one of my students. Boom, just got off the phone with the influencer. The deal is closed, and I'll be closing his high ticket programs starting the first week in January. First, I provided value on the call, and then he actually got me to pretend that he was a prospect. And well, you know what happened next? I shut down that deal. I closed him, and he said, that was good. I'll have you starting in January. I'm so grateful to have come across this opportunity at this stage in my life. I want to firstly thank Dan Lok, K1, and Desmond, and all the other members in the Dan Lok team for putting this together. I am a high ticket closer. Here's John Lee. Just closed my first influencer today. This program, training, and community was definitely the best investment of my life. This guy was blown away by my closing ability. I couldn't have done it without Dan, Kayvon, and Desmond, and all the people in this family who have helped me to get to where I am today. Can't wait for 2018 so I can make my first 100K and beyond. Let me show you some numbers. Now, I'm going to assume that you don't want to work 9 to 5 each day. Most people wouldn't work the normal long hours if they have a choice, right? So I'm going to show you how you can make an incredible income from just 1 or 2 clients and how to make a lot of money working just a few hours a day. So let's talk money. Let's say your client has a $5,000 high ticket offer, kind of like similar to Rich, $5,000. And let's say your commission is 10%, okay? Just 10%, which equals to $500. You with me? And let's say your closing ratio, using my proven script, which is Rich's case, 20%. Let's assume it's also 20%. And let's say you talk to 5 qualified prospects a day. And remember, all the leads are provided to you. You talk to just 5 people a day. That means you make 1 sale a day. That's $500. And let's say you only want to work 4 days a week and you want to take 3 days off and do whatever you want. That's $2,000 a week. That's $8,000 a month with no business expense whatsoever that you've just made with your high ticket closing skill. And here's the best part. You've just made your client $80,000 in sales. Is the client happy? Yes. Is he going to keep you around? You bet, right? Rich, as you scale, you also need closers. Let me ask you this. If someone is helping you closing those sales, $5,000 sales or $10,000 sales, would you be okay to give them 10% of that deal?
Absolutely, because they're doing all of the hard work. I don't have the time to jump on the call with, dozens of people every single day. I have my own business to run, so they're actually a necessity. And to give them just 10% of $10,000, that's nothing, of course. For your hard work, I'll give you that.
Exactly. It's a win-win. But here's what gets very exciting. Let's say your client has a $10,000 high ticket offer. One of my superstar mentees, Kayvon, is actually now selling anything below 15K doesn't even touch. It's 70K offers. And let's say your commission, now you're a little bit better. You've gained a little bit more experience where you can negotiate a slightly higher commission rate. It's 15%. So that's $1,500. And let's say now with practice, with experience, you get a little bit better. Instead of 1 out of 5, you're closing 1 out of 4. That's it, 1 out of 4. So your closing ratio is 25%. And let's say you don't mind to hustle. You say, you know what, Dan, I want to grow. I want to make more money. Instead of talking to 5 people, talk to 8 people a day. A few more people a day. 8 qualified prospects a day. And again, all the leads are provided to you. What does that look like? That means you're making 2 sales a day. 2 sales a day, that's $3,000. And let's say you say, you know what, I don't mind to work 1 extra day. I still can take 2 days off, but I can work 5 days a week. That's $15,000 a week. That's $60,000 a month, or $720,000 a year. Let me ask you this question. What's your cost of running the business? 0. What's your risk? 0. Forget $720,000 a year. What if you only make half of that? What if you only make 25% of that? How would that kind of income change your life? Can you see how this is possible? I mean, this is basic math. Very, very simple math. I'll share Kayvon's story with you. When I first met Kayvon, he was completely lost as an internet wannabe, trying to figure things out. He was $120,000 in debt and sinking fast. He lost all direction and lost all hope. He was about to fail. And I mean like fail hard. Fail hard. He has tried affiliate marketing, drop shipping. He's tried 7 different MLMs. He's tried being a coach, a consultant. He tried writing a book and got scammed $10,000. He tried joining different mastermind groups and programs and bought every program that he could find until he met me. He saw me it's actually at TEDx, and saw me and said, At first, actually, he didn't like me. He's like, who is this guy with a raft suit and everything? He was actually skeptical. Didn't like my personality. But he was at a point where he was about a month away from bankruptcy, 1 month away from bankruptcy. He was searching online, was watching my videos, and thought to himself, what have I got to lose? What Dan is saying makes sense. He reached out to me, and we talked. And he said, Dan, can you help me? I said, I could help you, but under one condition. You do exactly what I tell you to do. No ifs, no buts, exactly to the T what I tell you to do. He said, you got it. I'm at a point where I have to turn this around. I've got 30 days. I got 30 days. I said, understand. Do exactly what I tell you to do. I taught him how to close on a telephone. I gave him the skill of high ticket closing. He went from struggling, want to be entrepreneur, to selling over $145,709 in his first 29 days. He went from losing $25,000 a month to earning $25,000 a month. He now works with the world's best, most well-known industry experts. He works his own hours and have experts begging him to close for them. This month alone, he's now earning $40,000 a month, working 25 to 30 hours a week, max. And he's working from anywhere he wants in the world. And this is Kelsey, Kayvon's girlfriend. He is one happy guy. It's one hell of a story. It's one hell of a story. And all I did, I taught him the skill of high ticket closing. And I want you to be our next success story. Because listen, what we're doing here today is serious. And I want you to take it seriously because we are changing lives here. I know we're going to pick up at least a couple people, at least a few people to join the six-figure earner club. And this just isn't just a guess. I know this because I've done this before. There have been people just like you have who've gone through this webinar, just like this in the past, who went from dead broke, from not $0, but negative six figures to positive six figures. Secret number 4, you don't need to be an expert at high ticket sales. You don't. Now, before Rich met me, he was consuming some of my content, but the whole idea of high ticket sales, I mean, Rich, it was new to you, correct?
It's absolutely different from what I used to know back in my door-to-door sales days, because when you're dealing with such large amounts of money, all the tricks that work when you're like selling $100 product on the streets, none of that works. You have to really sound like someone that can be trusted full-heartedly, because we're talking about large sums of money here.
That's correct. Because all those traditional techniques, silly sales techniques, they don't actually work when it comes to high ticket sales. So you never have to be a fast talking, slimy salesperson because it doesn't work. It's versus selling $100 thing. There are very specific strategies on how this is done. And I'll teach you how to be a powerful, confident, high ticket closer without all the trial and error. How do you know when you're doing this right? I teach all my students. When you are doing this right, you know when you just close a $5,000, a $10,000, a $15,000 sale, and your prospect says, thank you. That's when you know you're doing this right. There's Chin. HTC family, I want to share a recent win with all of you. First of all, a little bit of a background. I've been following Dan Law for over a year. Finally met him a couple months ago. A mutual friend of ours held a private mastermind for high-level entrepreneurs, which Dan and I both attended. Now, I originally asked Dan if he could send me some of his best HTC graduates for my new high-ticket offer. But he had a better idea. He told me to join the program first, so I signed up with batch 3. Now, I've never had any formal sales training, but the first 3 weeks gave me such confidence. I thought, fuck it. I'll advertise the high-ticket closer, high-ticket offer early and see if I can close some of those applications myself. I watched the role plays with Kayvon and Desmond 3 or 4 times as I waited for the calls to come in. First call was a bust. Second call, I closed a $15,000 package. The entire call took about 10 minutes, 10 freaking minutes. I thought this might be just beginner's luck. So I made 2 more calls and closed another $15K package. The second call took a little bit longer, but it was still a lot easier than I expected. 4 phone calls, 2 closes, $30K in 1 day. Not that it was ever in any doubt, but needless to say, Dan's stuff is criminally effective. Why there's no experience needed? Because someone else has already done all the groundwork and grunt work for you. You don't need to know anything about sales. Actually, I prefer you don't, because I don't have to correct all your bad habits. All the tricks, all the typical sales techniques like the alternative close. Would you like it in blue? Would you like it in red? All those techniques, they don't work. I'm going to provide you with a script and role play with you to make sure that you master this. I will show you how to get contracts as well if that's what you want to do. If you want to work with influencers, well, Dan, where do I get these influencers? I'm going to teach you that to you. Here's Mark Logan. In my last update, I shared with Dan my goal for March was to hit 50K in closed sales by the end of the month. I took a moment to reflect, and I'm happy to say, boom, mission accomplished. $58,036 in sales. Attention, 100K, you are next. So let me take you behind the scenes and quickly just teach you a little bit about where these applications and calls and phone calls come from, because people sometimes have this question. Let's say a typical entrepreneur, an influencer, an internet marketer, let's say they're running ads on Facebook. And they would, let's say they drive them to from the Facebook ads to a webinar registration page. And then people watch a webinar, kind of similar to this, and they watch a webinar. And at the end of the webinar, they will make an offer and say, hey, if you want to learn more information, go ahead and fill this form and schedule a consultation with one of my guys. So now that's where you come in, step 4. When they book the time with you, you get on the phone and you close those high ticket sales. So you see this from this process that the expert is generating the leads and putting the prospects through a series of trust building steps. You never cold call anyone. You only be talking to prospects who have gone through a funnel and have filled an application form. You only talk to people who are pre-interested and pre-qualified. And all you have to do is follow my high ticket closing system and get paid. That's it. It's Cody. Attending Manfluencer was an incomparable decision and life choice. After dinner Friday night with Dan Lok, Desmond Soon, and family, I knew it was time to step up. Here's a story. On Saturday, I gained 3 new clients. The first client wants me to close their 3K to 5K items. The second client wants me to close a 6K item for them. The last client has 2 different priced items. The first item is $1.2 million. That's not a typo. The second is $2.3 million. Just think about that. Sales is simple because your clients, successful entrepreneurs and thought leaders, they know they need to make high ticket sales because that's where the money is. They already have a reputation. They have an offer. They have a list, and they have an advertising budget. And high ticket closing produces real results for them. They can't be bothered doing this. Remember, they are busy in their own businesses. It's Victoria. Oh my goodness, burning the midnight oil. I just closed a 7K offer for my influencer. I'm finally going to take calls on a daily basis, and this was one way to end a Friday night. Victoria didn't know anything about sales, had zero experience in sales. And remember, the entrepreneur don't have the time or inclination to do this themselves and jump at the opportunity for others to do it for them. Here's Tara. Just to say thank you again to Dan, Kayvon, and Desmond for rewiring my brain these past 6 weeks. Yesterday, I closed a prospect for a $2,200 product that I'm an affiliate for that I probably never would have been able to close. So incredibly grateful for HTC. Dan, you're changing people's lives, and I'm blessed to be part of it. Thank you. So by now, you now know why it's absolutely critical to develop your high income skill for long-term financial success. And by now, you know why high ticket closing is one of the most high paying and most in-demand professions in the world. I've also shared with you how high ticket closing is the easiest money that you'll ever make. I've also taught you why you don't need to be an expert at high ticket sales in order to get started now. Now, remember the darker reason I talked to you about in the beginning of this webinar, the catch. Because there's always a catch, right? Here's the catch. I need you. I would like to pretend that this is almost like me giving back to the universe and there's some karma, good karma in doing something like this. But I'm still an entrepreneur. I'm a capitalist at heart. Because every single week, I get dozens of requests from companies and entrepreneurs asking me, Dan, I need some closers on the phone. Because everybody's forgotten that the telephone is the #1 most effective way to make money. Everyone is thinking about Facebook and funnels and blogging, creating content, running ads and doing this and doing that. And that's great. Let them do all of that. But we help them get over the finish line. You help them get over the finish line. That's you, right? Do you understand that if I could help you become a high ticket closer, you know how much more money that's going to make me? How much more favor that's going to win me? So I'm getting all these requests. I have two options. Option number one, I could start taking on these clients, building infrastructure, renting a massive office space, kind of like a sales floor, and hire lots of employees. That's one option, but that's not the option that I want. Or number two, I could certify a small group of people that I can trust and make them a high ticket closer and give them these contracts and get a small piece of the action. And that's why I'm doing this webinar with Rich. That's why we're here. I'm very transparent because I'm looking for go-getters that I can train and join my team and take on these contracts and deals. That's why I'm here. So in the next 60 days, I'm going to certify a small group of people in high ticket closers certification program. I'm going to take you under my wings and show you the fastest path to six figures as a high ticket closer. I will be personally working with 49 serious players and transform them into high ticket closers. Now, we're not trying to hot sell you on this. The fact is, if you need convincing, this isn't for you. You know who you are and you know what you want and you know if you belong to this group or not. In fact, if you're the right person, you probably already made the decision you want in an hour ago. I'm just going to walk you through it so you know exactly what you're getting when you decide to be a high ticket closer. It's limited to only 49 players. The first thing you'll get is you'll get 7 live classes with me, walking you through my complete HTC course curriculum, step by step. Rich has gone through it. Rich knows I only teach this live, right?
Yep.
And also by the end of each class, you also get Q&A time at the end of each class, which I'll be answering your questions live. You also get templates and scripts and checklists for every class to help you follow along so you can take action and implement. I want to emphasize something here. This is not a learning program. This is an implementation program. This is not one of those programs where, oh, I'm going to watch some videos and maybe I'll implement. No. I'm going to teach you something. You're going to implement. You're going to do it. And I'm going to teach you some more. I'm going to give you some more. And you're going to implement, and then you're going to do it. Now, in case there's some classes where maybe it's an emergency, you cannot make that one particular class. You also get recordings of all the lessons. You can watch them over and over again on your computer, iPad, or smartphone. And you can do this from the comfort of your own home. Every single week, we're going to get on a webinar, and then we are going to do this live. I don't care how much experience that you have or don't have, we are going to do this as a team and get started together. You got it? Currently, entrepreneurs, they pay me $5,000 an hour for my time. If you go to clarity.fm, you'll see that's what I charge, $5,000 an hour for my time. Within the high ticket closer program, you'll get at least 14 hours of my direct mentorship through a 7-week period virtually. That's a solid $70,000 worth of value, but that's not it. At the end of that 7 weeks, you'll also be certified as a high ticket closer by me. You'll get a certificate just like this in the mail. It means that you will have the skill of high ticket closing with you for the rest of your life. You can see right here, even after a 4-year college degree, my diploma didn't even came close to the HTC certificate in style or quality. See this, Christina? Just comparing that HTC to her law degree. And she said the HTC is much more valuable than her law degree. And by the end of the program, you also get a chance to close sales from me and also my network of millionaire entrepreneurs. Also, Improvement Pill. Rich, if you need closers, you also have an opportunity to work with Rich.
Yeah, it's definitely something that I'm thinking about as I scale my business.
And what we'll do is we'll select the best students and the superstars from the program. Then I will recommend them to Rich. This is not some bullshit online training program with a bunch of stupid videos. I don't believe in that. That's why I insist on teaching this program live every single time. I just don't think I can transfer my skills to you if you just watch a bunch of videos. This is a live mentorship program that you can take virtually from the comfort of your own home. but it is live. This is an opportunity for you to be mentored by me personally and work with me side by side. And I have ready to go contracts for my best students. With that said, this is not for everyone. This is for serious people who've been following Improvement Pill for a period of time, which means you've watched at least some of Rich's videos. Very important. This is not for you if you're scared to talk to people on the phone. If your confidence is that low, then you have to ask yourself, what's it costing you not to be able to communicate with confidence and conviction? This is not for you if you're not coachable. I only want go-getters who makes no excuses and could get shit done, because you'll be joining my team. My question is that you? Tell me in the chat box, go ahead, is that you? So in total, we're talking about over $70,000 worth of value if you were an outsider. But when you take action right now during this webinar, the investment for the program is not $70,000. And it's not even $50,000. It is not $25,000, which is what I charge for half a day of consulting. It's not even $10,000. And it's not, the investment is not even $5,000, which is just for an hour of my time. The entire 7-week high ticket closer certification program, it's only $24.95. And if your cash flow is a little bit tight, you can even take me up on my 3 easy pay installment option. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to go to www.fumoneypill.com/now. Again, it's www.fumoneypill.com/now. I want you to ask yourself this question. If all the high ticket closer program did for you was to generate an extra $5,000 a month in income for you, would that be worth the $2,500 investment? If all the high ticket closer program did for you was to give you the skill, the confidence, the status that you need to close anyone, anytime, would that be worth it? Would that be worth it? I want you to understand something, that I don't do this a lot. This is not what I do for a living. I'm doing this because my business, my network of entrepreneurs, companies, they need closers. That's why I'm offering this training program. And your success is our priority. I want you to send me a message. I want you to send me an email. I want you to post within Facebook group 3 months from now, 6 months from now, 8 months from now. And you say to me, hey, Dan and Rich, being a high ticket closer changed my fucking life forever. I left my job and now makes $10,000 a month from home and just bought myself a new car. Because you're going to join my team. This is not one of those programs, just take it and forget about it. This is going to be a long-term relationship. This is the beginning of a lifetime relationship. We're going to be working together closely. So I want you to become as successful as possible, because your success is my success. Is another one of my students. I'm currently in sunny Orange County, California, standing in front of $90 million oceanfront houses. Because of Dan, Kayvon Investment, and the whole HTC team, I am with a business that I love in an industry I'm deeply passionate about. They just flew me to California for a week, all expenses paid, to meet their team and see the culture after working with them part-time for 2 months. If it wasn't for HTC, I would have never found this life-changing opportunity. I remember came on the phone with me for the first HTC call and asked me what my goal was for 2018. I was first batch. So I started HTC in November of last year. I told him 6 figures consistently was the goal. And at that time, I had a 3rd baby and was staying home. It was a number that I just came up with. I didn't think too much about. 2018 is my first 100K year, and I'm very close to 5-figure months already. So much has changed in a few months. I could only imagine what it would be like in 5 years at this pace. Keep working it, everyone. There's enough money and opportunity out there for everyone to live and love generously. Mimi. Fortune favors the bold. When you take action today, I'm gonna surprise you with a few kick-ass bonuses. So for the people who get it and take action today, bonus number one, I'm gonna give you my 6 steps to six-figure system. Now, this is one of my most powerful programs. Hundreds of people have invested over $1,995, $2,000 in this program. And it's helped more influencers and consultants and coaches than, than any other programs I've ever produced. The reason I'm giving you this is this. This program is designed to help speakers, coaches, and consultants and thought leaders. You see, in fact, when you watch the video, you see 200 of them in the room when you watch the program. Why am I giving you this? Because I want you to get what they think. Because those are the people, or those are clients you'll be working with, you'll be closing sales for. I want you to know what I'm teaching them. So you get two sides of the coin. Again, go to www.fumoneypill.com/now. Bonus number two, you also get recordings of actual role plays and sales call. Because how do you learn how to close these sales? The best way that I believe is you can be a fly on the wall and you listen to these calls. How is it actually done? How does someone close a $10,000, a $15,000, a $25,000 sales in 45 minutes or less? How do you do? What does it sound like? What do they say? How do they say it? What questions do they ask? You're going to get that as bonus two. I believe this bonus alone is easily worth the investment of an entire program. It's easily a $5,000 worth of value. So he's Eric Nelson. This program is really making a difference in my health insurance business. Today alone, I sold 2 clients and made over $5,000. I have more than double my income this November versus last November. Understanding their jam, which is what I teach, finding the pain point, and shutting up have been the biggest game changers for me. Kenneth, just want to say thank you. I can't say this enough to you guys, to everyone in the family. Because of the trainings and role plays, I was able to close a deal with a prospect for $1,000. I've been practicing my tonality, the 20-80 rule, actively listening, and just remaining calm. This is the first of many. I can't wait to see what the future holds for the rest of us. But more than that, remember I told you this program is going to be different than anything you've ever been involved with. Because I believe this. Most people, they join a program, they learn what to do, and they never do anything. Why is that? Because when most people join a program, they attempt to change their life, they attempt to change their business. But the current environment is not set up to assist that transformation. Their friends, their family, all doubt them. They speak different languages. They think differently. And when you go against your environment, things are challenging beyond belief. And most people give up because it's just too hard. I experienced this myself for many, many years. I understand that. So what I know is you need a community that speaks the same language as you. And you need to have people around you that are the same life mission as you. And this is critical. That's why I want to give you this an incredible bonus. Lifetime access to a private Facebook group with, it's just a community with the latest opportunities, high ticket sales opportunities, but more so an incredible community. I mean, Rich, you've been in it. You've seen the people in it. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, it's actually very, very powerful because most of the programs out there that attempt to teach you something, they just lay out the videos for you. They just lay out the information. They don't give you the opportunity to interact with others that know more than you. And one of the most powerful things that I actually found about the HCC program was the fact that you can actively interact with people who have already found success via the course, people who have already taken the course from previous batches and are already making tens of thousands of dollars with other influencers. So if you ever have like a question or a problem about, the way you pitch an idea, the way you try to close, you can always message them and say, hey, I'm having problems with XYZ. And they'll give you good advice and they'll lead you in the right direction. That's something that other programs don't have to offer. And you guys also have a Discord server where you can actively practice, closing role playing essentially with other people. So you'll have people who've closed tens of thousands of dollars, and they're actively, they want to help you. They're willing to train with you and practice with you whenever you want, for as long as you want. And that's something that's very, very powerful, because I actually I did door-to-door sales for 2 years, and I became a sales manager for my company. So I was in charge of teaching people how to do sales, how to close people. And the number one defining factor, whether or not you become a good closer, is the amount of practice you get and who you practice with. And there's no other program out there that gives you this sort of opportunity to practice with people who are already successful.
Correct. And they're all helping you with no agenda. They're just there to help you because that's the culture that we created. And
Mm-hmm.
you can see, I mean, every single day, it's a very, very active group. I mean, it's incredibly active, right? You post something, you see, make sure you say hi when you are in a Facebook group, and you see people welcoming you because they have walked the path that you've walked on, right? It's hard to change your life when you're surrounded by people that you've always been with. Our students, they join a worldwide community of people on the same path, so that the dreams, they are not laughed at, but achieved on a daily basis. Andres, hey HCC fam, I want to share a recent win with you all. I started closing for a new influencer as of this week. So far, I've had 2 sales calls and managed to get 2 booms. All my students, they use Boom. Every time they get a sale, they use Boom. The coaching program is a 10K offer. My confidence is growing after each call, and I'm truly experiencing being in flow at the moment. It's an amazing experience because while in that state, I found that within the first 3 to 5 seconds of the call, I built such strong rapport with the prospect that the deal is already more than halfway closed. Just imagine if you have the ability to be able to build trust, strong rapport with someone the first 3 to 5 seconds. Just imagine if you could do that. So together we're talking about total value of $77,000. And all you have to do is go to www.fumoneypill.com/now to apply to be a certified high ticket closer today. Now you might be saying, but Dan, I'm completely broke. Can you train me now and I can pay you back later? The answer is no. The reason I want you to invest first, because it filters out the wannabes. It separates the men from the boys. When there's no skin in the game, there's no game. I know that when you put some money on the line, you give your 100%. You're going to show up. I know whatever you pay attention. To me is this: if you don't even want it bad enough to do whatever you need to do to figure things out, to be resourceful and invest a couple grand and learn from me, then I don't think you'll make the cut. I don't want you on my team. If you know anything about me, do your research. You know anything about me, you would know that I don't look at this as a money getting opportunity. Because you already know I don't need the money. I would take the money, but I don't need the money. It doesn't matter if every single person listening to this webinar go to the website and join the program. It won't make a financial difference to me. Believe me, none, not one bit. It's not going to change my life, but it's absolutely going to change yours. Dave Simpson, what a week. Brought 3 new people onto my team. It closed $35,000 in business at a 35% commission rate. Check before Christmas. Fund already in place to do the same over the next 2 to 3 weeks. I am a high ticket closer. So now you have a choice. You have a choice. You can either take the information I've given you and forget all about it and stay stuck where you are. Then life stays the same. Keep chasing the next shiny object, buying the next course, reading those stupid ebooks, going to another seminar, attending the next webinar, wasting your life, hoping that someday your life will be different. Or you make a different decision. Then life will never be the same. What if you could join an entirely new industry that's on the boom in sales and no one knows about it? What if you can sell service that needs to be sold that pays $1,000 to $2,000 or more or so commission per sale? What if I told you warm inbound leads would be provided? You only need to close 5 to 10 sales, a couple of sales per week to make 6 figures a year. What if I told you there's virtually zero competition? What if there was no experience or credibility required? And what if you could also do this and work from anywhere in the world? No office or sales floor needed. What if there was also zero paperwork to be filled out? What if you could be your own boss, work your own hours, and make as much money as you want? What if you could make good money, big money, even you start out doing it on the side, just on a part-time basis? What if you can get to work alongside with me, Kayvon, and my team? He's Tom. Damn, the last class has so much value to it. I've been in sales for a long time. I've been through sales courses before, but what Dan Lok, and K1K did last night was awesome. That training alone, one class, that training alone was fantastic. I truly think the $2,500 was too low after listening. So I want you to go to www.fumoneypill.com/now. Rich, is there anything you want to add before we wrap this up?
Now, I know there's probably some skepticism among some of you, and I am, to be honest, I'm a skeptic about everything just in the world. When I first heard about the program, I was skeptical whether or not it was possible to be making this much money that fast. And when I signed up, I actually started talking to another member of the course who signed up at the same time I started. His name was David, and we would go through the calls together. We would always talk about what we learned together, and then we would practice role playing, pitch practicing with each other multiple times a day for weeks. And what's crazy is in just 5 weeks, he was able to close his first prospect, and he was closing $3,500 deals for them. And he wasn't even done with the program. It was only 5 weeks into the program. There was still 2 weeks left, and he had already closed a prospect and was making money, making commission, 15-20% commissions without even completing the course. And it was at that moment that I realized, like, wow, it sounds so good that it might not be true, but it is in fact, if you follow through the course, if you practice, if you apply the things that we teach you, that it will work. And it just sounds so simple, but it's the fact of the matter that closing over the phone is a fundamental skill that has always worked and will always work in the future. It's something that if you invest in right now, you're basically securing your financial future for years to come, because most people are just working normal jobs. They're, putting 10, 20 years in a company. And if that company goes down, they're kind of screwed. But if you invest in this skill today and you develop this high income closing skill, it doesn't matter what happens to you. It doesn't matter what happens to the economy. You're going to be safe. You're going to be confident about the fact that you can make money whenever you want, wherever you want. And this is so, so powerful. And that's why I'm so confident and so excited to be standing behind this offer today, because it's something that I know will work from the bottom of my heart.
I only have one last question for you. If not you, then who? And if it's done now, then when? This is your time. You have waited long enough. You have struggled long enough. You've hesitated long enough. Today is the day where, you know what? You say, fuck it. Today's the day where you say, my life is worth it. That my financial future is worth it. That I am worth it. Then from now on, you will have the high income skill for the rest of your life. And High Ticket Closer program will show you how to do that. Again, go to www.fumoneypill.com/now. And I look forward seeing you on the other side, and look forward seeing you in class.
Imagine you can close an $8,000 deal using just one simple technique from the HTC program by Sifu Dan Lok. Hi, I'm Jack Wong. I'm from Singapore, and I'm a graduate of batch number 2 of the HTC program. Recently, my client asked, can you prove to me that you have got testimonials to back up what you say is true? So I used Dan Lok's technique that I've learned in HTC program. The situation was turned around. Eventually, the clients said yes to me, and therefore the deal is closed. There's 8,000 Singaporean dollars in my pocket as a direct result of using just one simple technique that I learned from Sifu Dan Lok. It's amazing, it's fantastic. I didn't know that word until I actually make it happen. So thanks again, Sifu. Good job, and it's so marvelous to get to know you.
Hi, my name is James Styler, and I have been learning and applying the high ticket closing methodologies taught by Dan Lok into my own business. And what it has done for me is it has basically taken the level of stress in the whole process of closing and selling, and it has just made the whole process of closing a lot more easier, freer, and it's just added an entire new dance and a flow to the whole process. And really what that's looked like, sort of as an end result, is it's helped me to double my closing ratio from 30 to 40% to 75%, which feels really darn good. Not only that, but it helped me to sell a bunch of cars with a lot more grace and ease, and my commission check as a result was $7,500. So if you're thinking about taking this course and learning a high ticket skill, which I highly recommend you do, because a high ticket skill is only going to increase the quality and quantity of your life anywhere on planet Earth. So if you're thinking about it, all I have to say is just do it.
But with the HTC program, there's like no doubt in my mind of the value and things that have transcribed in here, and I know that the things that people could get from this program is like astronomical. So with that said, I'm going to also apply these skills that I've learned to try to get my own clients, aside from Dan's opportunities and aside from the other things that have presented itself. And on top of that, I've already applied the HTC skills to my business. So even, it doesn't matter what happens, I'm able to take this right to my agency and start implementing it right away. Instead of, like I said, don't wait for things to happen. You gotta grab life by the horns and get going. And the HTC program gives you the skills and the tools that you need to make that happen and make things come to fruition, and having a better quality approach to your success. And if I was to look at my life 12 months from now, I would love to be back working on the business for several months by this point. The business is doing well, the agency is growing, I'm doing high ticket sales, and I've brought in a partner. I already have a partner for my business, but I would love to make that partner more of the owner and nitty gritty of things with the agency, and then just send me out to do all the sales calls. Have me manage the team and do the things that I got to do to make sure that agency becomes successful.
Hey Desmond and everybody, it's Mark Logan here, just giving you an update on my status with my high income skill that I learned from HTC. And so far, right now, I have closed over $60,000 in sales. And I've also closed some joint venture partners, closed some extended contracts for some clients of mine. And it's just been absolutely unreal to this point. It was February, the beginning of February, when I started closing. And now we're only halfway through April and already at this point. So, completely mind-blowing across the board. And I'm excited for new contracts that I have coming up for influencers, and to start closing some even bigger deals on the phone, some up to $25,000 and I think $30,000 as well. So that's going to be really exciting. So as always, I appreciate the support. Hope everybody continues to do well, and as usual, be great.
And looking back at the transformation going through this program and moving forward, it's absolutely incredible. It really exposed me to a lot of the limiting beliefs that have been holding me back around wealth and abundance. And as far as the actual skill of high ticket closing, it really showed me how many opportunities are around us everywhere. All of us, it's absolutely incredible, really eye-opening. And then as far as specifics, my communication skills and my level of confidence, my ability to speak with conviction, my ability to influence those around me in a very positive way has just exponentially grown literally every week. My relationship with my parents now has just skyrocketed, and it is far beyond anything I could have ever asked for or imagined. Same thing with a lot of my friends. And going back to the actual skill of closing, I graduated 1 week ago, and I've had so many calls and so many opportunities are coming up. And it's just crazy to see now that it only takes one partnership as well to absolutely change your life. So now when I look forward 12 months, it's just so clear to see that I'm going to be making a six-figure income, if not in 3 months or 4 months, or even sooner. We'll see, but it's just so clear there, and personal development wise, the amount I've grown and seen everybody else going through this program grow in the span of only 7 weeks is absolutely mind-blowing. So if I think like a year down the road of where I'll be in my own personal growth, I can't even quantify it. This is only the beginning. So one final point for those that might be on the fence about this, or you're unsure if it's worth the money and stuff. I just want to ask you a question. How much longer are you willing to stay in your current situation? Because I know for myself, I got very comfortable tolerating mediocrity, and that can be a very dangerous place to stay. So if my words aren't enough, just think about it this way. If Dan even has the smallest chance of influencing you and teaching you this high performance skill that could absolutely enhance the trajectory of your life, wouldn't that be worth it? And if it is just a money thing, I can tell you from my experience coming out now, you're going to come out of this and right away know how to make that money back, 10 times that very quickly. So the decision is really yours, but I would highly recommend enrolling in Dan Lok's HTC program. Finally, thank you, Dan Lok, and your team. What you've given to me has been truly invaluable, and it's again, it's really just the beginning. So yeah. See you guys. Thanks again.
Hi, my name is Susan, and with my new high-ticket closing skills, I have completed sales of over $25,000. In the first 6 weeks following my successful completion of the course, I closed 3 influencers to work with me. I entered into this with no sales skills whatsoever, and I have taken that closing rate of mine and I've tripled it in the initial few short weeks. Because of the training that has been given to me on the abundance mindset, I now see opportunities everywhere. And by applying what I've learned, I now have 3 deals what I'm working on, and they'll close next month. Those 3 deals will provide me with an income of $150,000.
Hi, my name is Tyler Cerny, and I joined the HCC program to master the skill of closing over the phone. Not only that, I joined the HCC community to work with like-minded individuals and Dan Lok himself. What I really liked about this program was the format. 7 weeks, 7 live calls of Dan Lok telling you what it takes to have a high-performing mindset and how to master the high-ticket skill of closing over the phone. Now that I've gone through this course, I'm able to approach CEOs at Fortune 500 companies, influencers, and high-net-worth individuals and have the conversation of how can I be an asset to your team? How can I provide value? This is an opportunity that I did not have before investing in this program. Now I'm on pace to pay off all my student loans and all my credit card debt. I highly recommend this course, and if you invest the time and energy into what Dan talks about, then you will see a change in your life and your bank account.
Hi everyone, I'm Victoria from Philadelphia, and I am now a high-ticket closer. So what motivated me to join the High Ticket Closer certification program in the first place? Well, first of all, I'm going to backtrack a little bit, but a few months ago, I was honestly completely lost. I had lost focus of my dreams. I had lost focus of my goals. I had lost focus of who I am. And to be completely honest with you, I felt really lost, okay? So I felt so lost like I have not felt before. I remember before going to college, I was a lot more alive, but it's been about 2 or 3 years now since I've graduated university, and I have never felt so lost. I went into the corporate world. I've been working a couple of jobs, and it's just working that more than 40-hour a week to like 60 hours at times, it can be quite exhausting. So one of the main reasons why I really joined this program is to set myself free. Set myself free and get back my confidence, get back my passion, get back my drive, get back my energy, get back everything that I had when I was younger. And for some reason, I got so sucked into this world that it took it all away from me. And it took it all away from me without me realizing it, and without me realizing that it's draining me.
And this program is going to be the first step in what's going to enable me to help a lot of people, because I'm now helping myself. You know, in 12 months from now, I'm going to be making $20,000 a month consistently using my high-ticket skill set, as well as with that will enable me to have the time, the schedule, and the money to spend more time with my girlfriend, my family, and my friends, which are really the things that are most important to me. Also, I'm going to be able to travel. I'm going to be able to have the lifestyle I want and not be confined to the limitations of a job. If someone was skeptical about this program, I would just say be resourceful. You know, there's so many ways to come up with the money, and making investment in yourself is the best way to, in my opinion, get a return on said investment. I'm already on pace to be getting 5, 10, maybe even 20 times return on my investment alone in this year, which is incredible. I don't know any other program that can do that for you. So really, this program is worth way more than I actually paid for it. Every class was over-delivered in spades. So really, all I have to say to Dan and his team is thank you so much, because you guys, I invested in you and you guys believed in me, and therefore I'm now on pace to have a fantastic year and a fantastic life. Thank you so much, Dan and team.
Hey everyone, William Wong here, graduating from batch 1. And I'm generally not one to brag, but hey, I'm up for a challenge. So here's my results from Dan's teachings so far. So shortly after graduating back in November, I put my HTC skills to the test. I closed my JV partner at the time on refinancing a property that we purchased 5 years ago. We were basically able to pull out our initial down payments and netted just about $22,000 profits each. Then my second big win was actually just beginning of this April. I was able to close a money partner, and basically that netted me a $26,000 check on closing a rent-to-own deal. So 2 things that made this possible for me, these results, I guess you can say. Number 1 is actually really mindset, and of course, you know, the abundance is key as well. Number 2 is actually you know, writing, reviewing, and you know, adjusting your goals on a daily basis actually is a really big thing. And of course, once you start getting these big checks, you don't want to go back, right? And I guess one last thing before I go. The view is different when you lead and your goals are closer than you think.
So I was motivated to join the HTC program because I was invited by my previous mentor, Matt Asifan, social media director, and I start generating results from that. And then he started introducing Dan Lok, which is, I was like, Dan Lok? He sounds familiar. And I said, Dan Lok, yeah, the guy wearing the red suit. So I met Dan back in 2015 in November at a Socialite conference. And then I love this guy. So much energy, so much enthusiasm, so much knowledge. And you know that this guy is bar none in terms of delivering content. And that's what I love. And that's what I follow into mentors. And that's why I invest in this kind of people, because they do it passionately with love. And it triggers your emotional feelings plus your logical thinking, which is amazing. So what makes me surprised about HTC is just the community itself. It's phenomenally crazy in a good way. I love the engagement. I love the mentors. Dan, Desmond, Kayvon, crazy energy. It's just like, not just hype, but hard truth about life. And this guy went through all of that. This guy's all started from scratch, and that's the best part being part of HTC. And one time and we do webinars, we do actually like not an hour, not 2 hours, 3 hours, but almost actually 4 hours pass by already, and still this guy's freaking delivering values. That's insane. And they still have time to do question and answers for people who are questioning, like, of course a lot of questions, but some at the end of the night it's already 2, 3 a.m. and they're still taking questions. And that's what blows my mind. Like, let's be truth here, I love these guys because they deliver, and they have so much heart, so much passion that puts into this program. So thank you guys, I truly appreciate it. So how Dan impacted my life. First I met Dan, I still remember the date. That was back in November 2015 when they had a Social Light conference. And this guy walked inside the room quietly with a nice red, shining red suit. And it's amazing. Anyway, I still remember what he said, not exactly, but this is what he said: let your adversity be your strength. Again, he said, let your adversity be your strength. And that means is he talks a story about him from Hong Kong, and then he migrated with his mom. I was born and raised by a single mom, and with that exact same feeling, I felt it from Dad, that he is truly sincere in what he said. And I love my mom so much. That means all to me. She means all to me. All of my hard work for all these years that I've been failing and start now for the past 2 years generating souls, it's because for her. I work hard for her because I want her to have a better life. Of course, I have big dreams, but she is one of my why I do what I do. And I thank Dan because of that, because I've seen it in his eyes, like an ordinary kid like me before. I think that's 3 years ago, when I was young, dumb, and broke, had this chance in life that, you know what, if Dan did it, I could do it. If he succeed, for sure in the near future, I'll make it happen, and I'm gonna succeed as well. So that's why after that program, after my certification program with social media director, and Matt introduced Dan, I was like, fuck yeah, let's work together. I love Dan. I've seen him. I watched a ton of most of his videos, especially TEDx, about self-reflection. It was freaking amazing. I love Dan. That's why I joined the program. And with this high income skill that I've learned with the HTC family, I believe for the next 12 months, I didn't lay out all the things. I don't know. It's just the universe is so beautiful, and so much gratefulness and thankfulness that I have been being grateful, gratitude, that I pray to God, hey, please, if this is for me and if this works, I'll do whatever it takes. And it did happen. And now I'm at a point of stage of 2018 that I want to take it to the next level. I want to step out of my comfort zone and take people with me on whatever program I get into, or whatever program that I develop, which is I have right now. So far, I got almost 159 people sign up in this program, and all I need to do is just deliver the content, making sure that they're well taken care of. And 12 months from now, income, it's amazing. My goal is to reach $500,000 by next year. That's my goal. And this year I've reached that point on 6 figures, and then invested a lot, especially on ads and stuff. I'm still working on that process, working on my accounting side, but I do believe in myself. If I push a little bit harder, realistically, I'll reach $500,000 by next year. And then a year after that, $1 million. And I love to hit that goal. It gives me shivers. It's not because of the money. It's because of the reflection of why I actually contributed to the community and society. And if they change their lives, that means I'm doing something right. And that's why I've been paid for the price. And not only that, I have much more bigger opportunities in my mind, especially investing on cryptocurrencies, which is my transition from being an affiliate marketer to being a socialist, or something like a pioneer on cryptocurrency or whatever it is. I know I'll get there for sure, because this is me 2 years ago telling I don't know what to do, but I got it. Now I'm telling this that I want to specifically what I want, and I'll get there. I'll make it happen for sure. If I could be the one ask and close them or educate them and say, hey, if you went to school, how many years did you invested in already? When you understand that you go to school, you go to university, pay the tuition fees to get a job and get the salary, and not knowing that you need to still pay that debt, right? And how many more years are you willing to invest in order to accumulate that money and pay your debt? And then when will it be the time that you're gonna start raking that money, because it's your hard-working money that doesn't need to be paid anywhere. In this program, you can work wherever you want, whenever you want, with who you want, and the income possibilities is through the roof. Sky is the limit as long as you put the hard work, you follow the system, and you take massive action in making it work ethically, legitimately. Because that's the only way for you to make that specific amount of figures that you want to make. And the best part about it is this: it doesn't require any technical experience, okay? No special skills or knowledge. All you need to do is just plug in yourself, be open-minded, and learn from the best of the best. Because why? You're learning from the guy who started from scratch and made a multi-million-dollar. You should give all of your ears to this person. And the best part is, the last best part is, you understand, you're excited, you are here, you're listening, because you know, you understand that you deserve much more better in life. And that's all I can say to you. Price doesn't matter. It's not about I can't, it's about how you can afford it. And that's me 2 years ago. I told myself, Matt, I only have $1,000 in my bank account. How can I get started? I just dove in. And the first 2 weeks, I got it back right away, because I took action, because I followed the system, because I believe in mentor, that I know it works. And that's all, whatever it takes. Just follow, do it, take action, and you'll see yourself 2, 3 months, 6 months, a year from now, or keep going. Regardless, I don't know what you do or how you're gonna put your work or effort. But if you take action and do what your mentor says, you'll get there.
Hi, my name is Philip, and I've recently completed Dan Lok's High Ticket Closer program. Now, over the past 7 weeks, I've gone through a transformation greater than I would have ever anticipated. I've evolved my physical, my mental, and my emotional approach to closing sales. I've been blown away by the value Dan, Kayvon, and Desmond have delivered, and the genuine care they've had for our success. It's unlike anything I've ever experienced. The level of participation required in this course has been substantial, I'm not going to lie about that. But we've been held accountable by Dan, the HTC family community, and most importantly, by ourselves. I've studied many sales tactics, courses, and listened to so many gurus in the past. And I have to say, HTC has been unlike anything I've ever come across. It has literally given me the ammunition I needed to cement my high income skill of closing sales. Now in the next 12 months, I have plans to transition to just working as a high ticket closer, as this has developed not only into a skill I've learned, but a passion to help people and obviously make great money while doing so. So if you're thinking whether this course is right for you, then stop thinking and start acting, because thinking is not a business plan, and there is no business in the world that won't benefit from closing more sales. So I guarantee you, this will be unlike any sales course you've ever seen, because this is not a course for salespeople, but a course for sales closers.
Hi, my name is Mauricio Tolero. I'm 21 years of age and I'm from Perth, Western Australia. So a little bit about myself. I graduated from university last year, and upon graduation I kind of felt lost just like most people in my position, once you graduate, you don't know what to do next. And the next sensible thing that most people say is to get a 9-to-5 job and work with what you graduated, which kind of makes sense. But I knew I didn't want to get a 9-to-5 job. I don't want to work for somebody else, and I kind of want to make my own life, if that makes sense. And so after realizing this, I took a year off and I decided to do bartending while also looking at some online money making opportunities that I briefly heard of. But anyway, I did affiliate marketing, I did MLM, and I did importing from China. Now, I didn't find any success in all of these ventures, unfortunately, but that's okay. And I never really had any passion for any of these things, but it's always good to try different new things and be open-minded. I ended up stumbling across Dan's program, so it's high ticket closing program that I've just gone through. And this was during at work, so I listened in while working, and as soon as the webinar ended, I knew this was something I wanted to do. I literally had to, go to a corner and hide while at work, and I bought it right there on the spot. And I think I had about $40 left in my bank account. But I saw the value, and I knew this was something that I had to invest in myself and purchase. So the three main things that really stood out for me as to why I bought it is because, number one, you're learning a high income skill, which in the market there's high demand for, right? So number two, you work with high quality entrepreneurs. And number three, Dan Lok himself has 2 hours scheduled per week for 7 weeks to be helping you live, right? This is nothing like I've ever experienced, because most programs, I'm sure most can resonate with this, is that you get video after video after video, and there's no real student mentor connection, right? But this program provided that. So I was like, yeah, for sure, I'm in. So of course I bought it on the spot. And I kind of feel like I ripped Dan off. I mean, it was incredible, everything that we've gone through, and Dan really over-delivered. I feel like he gave it his all, and I learned not only about the content, not only about how to do high-ticket selling, but also about the mindset. And I've seen this transformation in myself. I broke past old procrastination habits, and that was a really big one for me, because like I'm sure a lot can resonate, is that you go on Facebook or on Instagram, you get distracted. I mean, that would happen with me in university. I get distracted because I didn't want to do any of these things. But with this program, it all changed. I've loved it ever since I started it. And I'm actually look forward, every week I look forward to the lessons. Unfortunately it's finished for now, but we'll see what happens. And I know I'll keep the relationship going with the whole Facebook group and Dan Lok and all his mentees, because I mean, everything they've done for us has been invaluable. Dan and his mentees would actually go on the Facebook posts that we'd post and comment on it themselves, and they'd actually bring up any issues we had in the webinar, as well as any aha moments people had. And that was it was a great insight. It was so many gold nuggets everywhere. So that's why I feel like I ripped Dan off, because of how much I got and how much I've changed in my life. I'm much more productive, and I've got intent when I'm doing things. It's not mindless, right? I'm more efficient with what I do, and I know from now onwards I'm a changed man, and I have Dan to thank for that. Now, this was my experience, and I hope this helps you come to a decision, because I'm sure many of you are sitting on the fence not knowing what to do. Now, my advice to you, Dan left the door, he left the damn door open, right? He's leaving it open for a short period of time. Get in, run through the door, get into the program, because I'm so glad I did. And if you get the same transformation that I did, I know you're gonna love it. Now, I just want to finish off with, thank you, Sifu Dan.
Hi, my name is Kayvon, and the media also knows me as the one-call closer, and this is my story. About a year ago, I was leaving my corporate job. I was sick of the 9-to-5 working hours. I was sick of always feeling like I was a slave to the hours, a slave to my job. And I was never building something I wanted. I never had the freedom to be able to build my dream. I felt like I was always building someone else's dream. So at 30 years old, I had to make a big decision. I had to leave my corporate job. My friends, my parents, everyone around me thought I was just absolutely crazy. They thought I lost it. But I just knew that there was something more. I just knew that I wanted more and that I deserved more. But I didn't know what to do. So I left the job. I jumped right into the internet marketing world. I tried everything. When I mean everything, I tried the drop shipping. I tried the e-commerce. I tried the affiliate marketing. I tried the coaching, the consulting, the services, the software. I mean, I had tried it all. And I was just fail after fail after fail. All these gurus promising the world, and it just nothing really ever came out of it. Except a year later, I found myself $120,000 in debt. I maxed out 3 lines of credit, credit cards. I had to sell my house. I had to sell my possessions. I wiped out all my stock, just trying to make my dream happen with no direction. And it was bad. I mean, I just think about it, and the fear. I had no confidence in myself. I couldn't even wake up in the morning because I was just scared and ashamed. And I couldn't even stand the face I saw in the mirror. But I couldn't sleep at night because I had so much worry and so much pain. It was bad. It got so bad I didn't even know if I was going to be able to pay rent. I had to go and find money from the one place I promised myself I never would go. My parents, my dead broke parents. I had to ask them to take money off the mortgage that they can't even afford so I can pay rent. I'm talking, I was broke. I was broken. I had no hope. And one night, I just had it. I went online and I just put in online entrepreneur, online mentor, and Dan Lok showed up. Now let me tell you, I seen Dan Lok a year before that at one of his TEDx talks. I was sitting in the crowd. He comes on stage with this red suit, acting all Dan Lok style, and I thought to myself, this guy's crazy. Not only that, I'm going to outsell that guy. I'm going to beat that guy. He doesn't even know who Kayvon is. Well, isn't that funny? A year later, I'm asking to be mentored by that same guy. And literally, the moment Dan Lok showed me the way, he opened his doors for me. Within 1 month, he showed me the art of high-ticket selling. He showed me the art of high-ticket closing. And within 1 month, my business went from losing $25,000. Can you imagine spending $25,000 on a monthly consistent basis without earning a penny just because you believe and everyone's telling you what to do, to earning $25,000 and having no expenses? Listen, I have a business that was losing $25,000. Now I have a business that's doing well over $25,000 with very to no expenses. And that's all because Dan Lok showed me the secret to the art of high-ticket closing. He showed me how to build a business around that. He showed me how to build my brand around that. And it was the best thing that's ever happened to me. I learned more in 1 month than I paid $120,000 of trying to learn in a whole year. I now live a life where I always dreamed was possible, but I'm actually turned this dream into my reality. My relationships with everyone around me have gotten stronger. My relationship with my significant other has gotten better. My relationship with my parents, everything. My relationship ultimately with myself. My confidence is higher. I have fear. I don't have fear. I live like a champion, I feel, every day. I'm so grateful. This is what this provided me. The opportunity, the art of high-ticket closing, the art of high-ticket selling, the idea that Dan had showed me and gave me what I knew was possible, but he made it and gave me it so it became my reality. And the only thing I can think back on is I wish I would have met maybe Dan Lok a little earlier, but even then I just say the best decision I made. was hiring Dan, getting that mentor to show me the way.
Hey, this is Ed. I just wanted to tell you that the HTC program has been probably the most profound program I've ever taken in my whole life. I was surrounded by hundreds of amazing, inspiring, and honest and ambitious people that I normally wouldn't have had if I had gone to school or gone to learn from any other program. This isn't the kind of program that you get sent a link and it's a certificate program. You get sent a link and you watch a video, couple videos, and they're pre-recorded, and then that's it. But this is immersive. For me, this has been a life-changing experience for me. I've spent thousands of dollars on tons of different programs from all types of gurus, everyone, you name it. But for me, this program has been life-changing. It's been different for me. I've learned so much more about myself than I ever thought I would ever understand about anything. And the changes that I've started to see in myself, in my family, and in my personal life have just been immense. And I'm extremely grateful to Dan. If you're watching this, thank you so much for changing my life. I know we've just barely started working together and you've just started mentoring me from this program, and I just want to let you know I really, really, truly appreciate you and everything you've done for me. For anyone who is actually skeptical about this program and anyone who thinks the price may be too much or you don't have the money right now, trust me, the money will come. You don't get an opportunity like this once in a while, like very often. I'm a copywriter. I used to do $500 deals and I had such a hard time closing them. And the clients, they would never respect me. They would treat me like, and I would work hard hours and they would never really truly treat me like a professional. But literally about a week or two, maybe even 3 or 4 weeks into Dan's program, the high ticket closing program, I closed my first $1,000 deal, and then another $1,000, and then a $1,500 a month with 5% revenue share. Now, if you can pull those results out of anyone else's program, please let me know. I would love to join that. But from my experience, I haven't seen anything like that yet. Not only has my life changed, I've also met hundreds of amazing and ambitious and inspiring people, like I said, and I'm friends with those people for life now. Those are real life connections, real life people who I am friends with, who have inspired me to become a better person. Inside the program, there's so much immersion and accountability that you don't get anywhere else. Having that really allowed me to succeed more and succeed faster, because I knew that if I wasn't doing the homework and I wasn't really pushing myself to succeed, not only would I let myself down, but I would let everyone else down around me. And there's over, I believe in my class, about 280 people. And I would let down every single one of them. Not to mention Dan and his amazing team. So I knew that I had to become successful, not only for me, not only for my family, but for my new friends and for my new future. After the first 2 months, I already doubled my investment back. And I'm confident that if you listen to Dan, you do his teachings, you listen to Kayvon, you listen to everyone else in Dan's team, you can too. So please, for the sake of yourself, for the sake of your future, invest in this program. It's one of the best things that's ever happened to me. And I'm damn sure it will be the best thing that's ever happened to you too.
My name is Darius Rivera, and I am a high-ticket closer. Now, I was first introduced to Dan Lok's program through a webinar. It was actually when I had just moved to Fort Lee, Virginia, because I was starting my career as a second lieutenant in the U.S. Army. Now, I didn't have income yet because I wasn't in the pay system, because I had just started active duty, and that takes a little while. So I went into this webinar, and I wasn't sure if I was really going to spend money or what was going to happen, because I didn't have much money at all. I only had about $500 maybe in my bank account. But as I heard Dan speak, word after word, I just felt myself wanting financial success more and more and more and more. That burning desire just got hotter and hotter. Now, once I heard the price, I was saying to myself that I have to find a way to afford this. I have to. I didn't have the funds in my bank account, so I started calling banks, looking up things online, trying to find out how I can get a loan, a line of credit. I didn't have a credit card, so I couldn't use that. And I really didn't have much of a credit history, so I wasn't getting approved for anything. Now, I kind of just gave up and said, there's no way I can do this. I can't even ask somebody close to me to lend me money because everybody I know is struggling financially. Now, a couple days later, I actually got an email that said that the webinar was gonna happen again. This hit me like a sign, and I was like, I have to find a way to be able to afford this. And so fortunately, my father had just gave me money that day in order to help me get on my feet because I wasn't getting any income, to help me get some food, household essential items, things like that. And what he gave me, it provided enough for me to provide that initial payment for the 3-month payment plan. So I watched that second webinar and I bought the program. I was terrified and excited at the same time. Now, why did I do this? So I grew up in the Bronx, which is one of the 5 boroughs in New York City. And I was constantly surrounded by financial struggle. My family, my friends, their families, strangers on the street, you could just see it and you could feel it. Everybody's worrying about how they're gonna get food on the plate that night, how they're gonna pay their bills that month. And I did not want that. I did not want that to be me at all. Also, unfortunately, my mom and grandma are currently still struggling financially, more so than they were when they raised me. And I want to be able to write them a check for $5,000, $10,000, give it right to them, and have the confidence to make that right back. I also want to surround myself and be immersed with people who are more successful than I am in order to build myself up and make me become more successful and give me the drive and motivation to want to be more successful. I also want to be a motivational speaker and a life coach within the next 10 to 15 years. And so I want to use these skills as my foundation to build upon, and also use these skills to apply in more of an influence setting in order to influence those that I coach and speak to. Now, prior to this program, I never really invested this much amount of money in improving my income. There was only one other thing I tried prior to this, and it was pretty much just a jumbled amount of information shot at you like a fire hose. And since I'm a beginner, I didn't really know what to do with all that information, and so it didn't really work out for me. However, this program, it offers community, it offers mentorship, so any questions you have can and will be answered. It offers that information piece, of course. It offers mindset training to get rid of negative associations with money. It offers a foundation to build upon. So you learn that mindset, then you learn the skills, then you learn how to implement the skills. And it offers support, like I said, that community. There's a high ticket closer family, and we all share our success stories, share our past stories, and we cheer each other on to do better and better each and every day. Now, one thing that really surprised me about this program, it is very step-by-step oriented. Crawl, walk, run. They teach you the basics and they build upon that. So somebody like a beginner, like me, you can jump right in it and you're not gonna fall behind or feel like you're surrounded by people much more advanced than you and you're gonna feel like you can't do it. That doesn't happen. It's built so it can work for beginners and work for those who are advanced. Now Dan Lok, he lit a fire inside of me that made my ambition for financial success bigger than it ever has been in my entire life. He also showed me that it is possible. It's possible. You hear Dan's story, you hear Kayvon's story, some of the classmates, you hear all their stories, and you think to yourself, I've never gone through anything like that, but here I am where they are now. Here I am becoming a high ticket closer. So they show you that it's possible and that you can do it. Within the next 12 months, I see myself having a 6-figure income with my Army paycheck and my high ticket closing commissions combined. I also see myself as being a much more influential person and applying those influence skills in my closing abilities, of course, but also in my leadership roles in the Army. I also see myself having an increased desire and willingness to invest in myself. Because seeing the results that I've gotten and seeing the more results that I'm gonna get, I know that I'm gonna wanna invest in myself more, especially since I'll have the financial means to do so. For those of you that are unsure about whether or not you should invest in this program, and if the price scares anybody, or if you think you can't afford it, just go back to the story I said at the beginning of this video. You have to find a way to afford it. I didn't have a credit card. I don't have credit history, so I couldn't really get even a loan or a line of credit. But if you want it bad enough and you have that commitment, you have to find a way to afford it. Because if you do find a way to afford it and you go through the program, you might even find yourself making that money back before you finish the program. Because there are people within the high ticket closing family that I've seen that they've made that money back already. And if you don't make it back during the 7-week program, I assure that you'll make it back afterwards. Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Kayvon. And thank you, Desmond, for helping me and giving me the tools to be and to become a high ticket closer.
Hi, I'm Chris, and I'm a graduate of Dan's High Ticket Closer program. Now, I entered his training looking for a vehicle to freedom, looking for a way to establish myself and provide for myself financially, a way to help myself and others. Now, I've joined some programs in the past, but none have really been like Dan's. There's something special to be said about Dan's program. Dan takes his program very seriously, and him and his team put a very sincere and personal touch into every part of the program. There's even a Facebook group where members of the program are there to encourage each other and support each other, and Dan and his team are also there to give comments, to give support, and to give feedback. And honestly, that's what surprised me the most about Dan's program. I've been in other programs before, and that definitely wasn't the case. Now, there's something special to be said about Dan too. You know, Dan has had several impacts on my life, not only in my ability to sell and close over the phone, but just in aspects of my life I didn't expect to get a benefit from. I'm talking my relationships with my family members and with my friends have been better. My methods of interacting with others and communicating what I want to communicate have all changed, and as a result, things in my life have gotten better. People respect me more, and I feel more confident. Now, I'm looking forward to the future after going through Dan's program. I see great things happening to me for the next 12 months of my life. You know, just tomorrow I have a call booked with an influencer who can help me make 15 to 10K per month just by closing the program. And I really look forward to the future and what it has to hold. Now, if the investment for the program is a stretch for you, I want to share you a bit of my story. Dan's program, the investment for Dan's program was more than just a stretch for me. I didn't have enough money for the program when I first saw it. I saw the value of Dan's program and I really wanted it to work. I wanted it to work for me and I wanted to get into it, but I just didn't have the funds. So I made it happen. I found what needed to be done, and I did it. I picked up another job. I started selling some of my belongings, and at the end, I got into Dan's program. And I look forward for the future and my ability to make 10 to 15K per month. Now, I'm not suggesting you do this, yet I'm just letting you know what's possible. Now, regardless of if you choose to enter the program or not, that's fine, but I wish you the best.
What's up, my HTC family? What's up, Dan? What's up, Kayvon? What's up, Desmond? Yes, I am ready to rock. I am so happy that I can have this opportunity to be able to share my experience and share with you my feelings about the HTC program. It is without a shadow of a doubt one of the best decisions I have ever made in my life. But before I even get to share my experience, I gotta say a heartfelt, a humongous, as sincere as possible can be, thank you to Dan Lok. Thank you to Kayvon K. Thank you to Desmond Soon. Thank you to the rest of the HTC family and the rest of the HTC team. This has been a momentous paradigm shift in my life, which is going to be fruitful in so many ways. And I just don't mean financially. It is gonna bless me in so many ways that I am just so excited about it. I'm trying to contain my excitement right now because I want to just yell and scream at the actual camera and jump through the camera and tell you how excited I am. But I'm going to contain that for now. I'm going to try to make sure that I don't go too long and I don't make an hour-long video. But again, thank you, Kayvon. Thank you, Desmond. Thank you, Dan Lok. And thank you, the rest of the HTC team. It is truly appreciated. Now that I got my thank yous out of the way, even though I can't thank you guys enough, I still want to keep on thanking you. I just want to make a 20-minute video of just me saying thanks to you guys. But I would like to, maybe answer a few questions to help you get a better understanding of what I got out of this course. So kind of the first thing I would like to answer would be what motivated me to, even join up and sign this course. I gotta be honest with you. The first motivation that I had for this course was that I just wanted to make some money. I just wanted to make a lot of money. Because I know if I can make a lot of money, I could use that money to do things and help people in ways that they weren't able to help themselves. I want to give back. I really don't need that much money for myself. I'm not one of those individuals who just want to live the life of the rich and famous. I'm satisfied with very little because I'm a very, very grateful person. But that was my main motivation for signing up for this course. And as the course went on, I realized that my motivation was misplaced. I realized that this course, from the very first seminar, from the very first webinar that we had, this course is not just about making you money. It gets to the root of the problem, which is your paradigm, your mindset, and your conditioning. It fixes that first before it does anything else. And that's what really makes this course different. Because the next question is, how is this course different than any other program I've ever been in? I've done a lot of online training for, information technology type stuff, web development, web design. I've done a lot of those courses. And a lot of those courses teach you some great skills. They were valuable courses, and I still reference them every once in a while whenever I'm doing some web development or I'm doing some web design. But what those programs lacked, every single one of them, and I have over 50, I've invested in over 50 of them, but every single one of them lacked the ability to change your mindset to be able to think like an actual programmer. That's what was lacking. This program, what makes a difference is that it is not lacking that. That's the very first thing it starts with. It starts with the mindset. It starts with breaking all your old conditioning. It starts with making sure that you understand that no matter what skill you have, it's not going to mean jack squat if you go into it and try to apply those skills with your old mental conditioning. The next question I want to address would be, what surprised me most about the high ticket closer program. It was the fact that in a short 7 weeks, it could totally change a person's life, and I'm living proof of that. If you would have asked me, before I started the course, is this course going to change my life? I'm like, yeah, it's going to make me some more money, but I'm still going to be the same person. Wrong. Wrong. I'm here to tell you right now that this course has changed me for the better. I didn't even go into this course looking to be changed or thinking that I needed to change. This course exposed my weak spots. This course exposed my habitual patterns that have kept me living a mediocre life. This course was eye-opening. And to kind of sum it up, I would just say it flipped the switch. I was living in the dark, hopped into this course, and next thing I know, click, the switch was flipped. Dan's kind of impacted me in a very, very profound way. And that's to the core of my being. That's how Dan has affected me with what he teaches and how he mentors his students. What I mean that he's affected me to the core of my being is the fact that he shook all that old pattern, all that old conditioning that I received from everybody in my life, from parents to teachers to coaches to friends to business colleagues and work colleagues. He took all that, shook all that old conditioning off. He's like, all right, now that I got you dusted off, let's go ahead and start you with a new sheet of paper. Let's go ahead and start you brand new. Let's go ahead and build you up to where you need to be so that way you can experience what you want to experience and live the life that you want to live. That's how Dan has affected me in a profound way. With this new high income skill, you guys ask, where do I see myself in 12 months? On my vision board. I have printed off the check from The Secret, the movie or the book, The Secret, that universal check. And on it, I have written the date of January 31st, 2018, and for the amount of $100,000. Before, I would have not even thought that $100,000 in 1 month is even possible. I would have thought, all right, let's think a little more realistically, and let's think that, $10,000 is probably going to be your starting limit. No, $100,000 is realistic within a month. And I will, not intend, but I will, and I'm going to make $100,000 by January 31st of 2018. That's what this course has done for me. It's helped me realize my true potential. Not the potential that everybody else says I can actually achieve, but my true potential. The last question I kind of want to address is, if someone was skeptical about this program, or somebody said the money was a little bit, too much or was a bit of a stretch for them, here's what I would say to that person. I would tell them, listen, what you've done for the last however many years of your adult life has ended you up right here in this spot. Whether you like it, whether you don't like it, it doesn't matter, but it's ended you up here in this spot. And there's a reason for that. And that reason is because you want to change. You know something deep down inside needs to change within you for you to continue to grow. So any doubt that you have is just your old conditioning telling you, hey, come back here. It's comfortable back here. It doesn't want you to grow. I say step forward, put the commitment in yourself, and understand that now it's time to grow. If you think the money is too much of an issue, think resourcefulness and not resources. Think about how you can pay for this program, not how you're going to pay for this program. Because if you want it bad enough, and this truly means something to you, and this truly is the way that you're going to change your life, and stop sitting on your hands, get off your ass and do it. That's what I would say to somebody who was skeptical, or to somebody who felt like that the money was just a little bit too much. Again, Dan, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Kayvon, thank you from the bottom of my heart. I really can't express how much that phone call has changed the rest of my life. And thank you to Desmond. All three of you guys are upstanding gentlemen. I wish many blessings upon you. And I wish many blessings upon your business adventures and your business endeavors. And I wish many blessings upon your family as well. Take care. And again, I love this HTC family. I love the HTC team. I love the HTC mentors. Thanks again, guys. God bless.
What a fantastic program. High ticket closing program. Oh, just brilliant. What I'd like to say first and foremost is that it's Gary Wilson here. I'm from the UK. I've been in direct sales all my life, Dan. I'm in my mid-60s now. Sales is my life. I've made my fortune by direct sales and closing sales. And I joined the program because in my conversation with Kayvon, I'm intending to spend a lot more time at my home in Spain, and I want another business online. I've run my business traditionally offline in the home improvements in the UK, and I've been very, very fortunate, and I'm a lucky man, Dan. I'm a lucky man, Kayvon. Kayvon, the one call closer, that's what you call yourself, and a lot of respect for you, and a lot of respect for you, Dan. I watched you on video for a long time, Dan. I knew you were a mentee of Dan Pena. I've got all of Dan Pena's materials. I've never been to a Castle seminar myself, but I've got all of his materials and I've devoured them over the years. And sales, as I say, Dan, sales is my life. I love selling. I've studied J. Douglas Edwards, Tom Hopkins, Zig Ziglar, Tony Robbins, Brian Tracy, all the top salespeople, and I joined you because you are offering a high ticket closing program and you offered it in a different way. I was open-minded. I hope I'm always open-minded, and I have to say this to you, the pair of you, Dan and Kayvon. You've took me to a new level because you've taught me things which an old man like me is still willing to learn. And you've took me to a new level. Recently I went 7 for 7 in my business for a total of just under £100,000, and that's using your techniques directly, using your mindset, using the way you negative reverse selling, and I've studied and I've adapted it to my own business. But when I talked to Kayvon originally, he said there might be opportunities with yourself. I intend to move to Spain. I'd like to run my business over the telephone, Skype, Zoom, online, and I would love to sell for the pair of you. So here we go. What motivated me to join HTC? I think I've answered that question anyway, Dan. And what surprised me the most about the HTC program, the depth and the understanding and what you actually went into week by week. We're on week 6 now, and the work that we've had to do to study, to change our mindsets into a role playing, into a high ticket closer. Where do I see myself in the next 12 months? I see myself traveling, living in Spain, running a business from my laptop, using Skype, closing people all over the world on your programs, closing people and loving it at the same time, because I just love talking to people who want to achieve more. And that's what you're all about, Dan. I've immersed totally in your videos, and I've immersed totally on saying to myself, I'm all in with the pair of you. And what do I think about the HTC family, the Facebook family that you set up, Dan? It's absolutely wonderful. Everybody has a positive viewpoint and positive intent to try and help people that sometimes aren't up to speed or they want advice, or they want help. And everybody's behind this program. I'd like to say finally, thank you very much indeed for bringing me to this level. And Dan, Kayvon, all the very best, and I hope that we do business in the future. Thank you.
For me, of course, I had those clients out of Menfluential, and that really started me, with the momentum boost I had. I actually didn't tell Desmond because I was waiting for him in person, but I think the only one I've told is Kayvon, and I told him today. But the day I graduated, I was actually at a show for one of my bass fishing sponsors.
Wow.
And I pushed, in the 3 days I was there, $137,800 worth of product.
Wow. Say that again, how much again?
$137,800 in product.
Wow.
A lot of people here know this story. Is I was in oil and gas in Alberta, and I was senior management. I left, and I don't want to make it sound like I'm bragging, but I left $150,000 salary because your words affected me, not just about the financial freedom, but the financial confidence. I learned a lot to get myself to where I was, and then I listened to your webinar and I said there is more out there. And with my background, I know I can do more. And to leave that safety, I just left my job 2 weeks ago. And thank you for that, for making me believe in myself, making all of us believe in that. You are a powerful man, and in your words, in everything, and I can't tell you how much it's affected me to actually leave such a higher status job already.
Yeah, so Kenny, I spoke to Jason today, and personally, we're talking in the back room, right, in the green room. Yeah. And he said that you're one of the best closers, and he's really proud of you.
Enjoying it with you guys, it was like a different world for me. For us, it was like I was trying to. We had to work hard work. We never had like the privilege of sitting down here, just enjoying this. Being with everyone here. And I thank you for that, Dan. Because it's telling me, okay, I have greatness in me that I can be able to go out and instead of just working hard and just physical, I can actually be using my head, my mentality, and my passion, and become the skill that gave us a tool to be able to go out and get our dreams that we want and come back and show my parents like, look, we don't have to work hard. We don't have to do physical work. We could use our minds instead. And we could go out, I could bring them here and take them to a luxury restaurant where they could take a bite of it and they'll probably be crying too as well. Like, wow, this is the best thing that I've had. And I just gotta thank you because it changed me and my mind. And to be honest, all of you, like, this is, for me, like, my parents are like, very strict. Okay, you gotta work, no emotions, yeah? And right now, I'm very open to you guys because family, familia, so. So I love you, I'm a high ticket closer.
Proud of you.
Well done.
HTC!
Rooming with them, and every day I hear him just chanting. He's getting me and Andrew to just like motivate.
Every single day. He's amazing.
That's awesome.
He's like so enthusiastic too. Yeah.
You know, he's not even telling you. He closes for 20 fucking minutes. Yeah, he does.
So what I want to do, I guess I'll tell you about my long-term goal, is that I want to be a And growing up, my family was really toxic. So the Asian family just think like they're really strict on you. So
I know what I think of you.
Yeah.
You know, I was more into reading books, learning, and a lot more reflection and quiet time to myself, and a lot more serious or deep topics than like most kids at my age, you know, 5, 10, 15, were even thinking about. I was the kid reading the biographies. Those were my favorite books growing up, right? So doing all of that, going through college, graduating, even before I graduated, I started, you know, doing like multi-level marketing. I got introduced to that when I was in college, freshman year. And though I really didn't like that experience, the thing that it opened up to me that I was always looking for, even when I was younger, was that personal development part. You know, the reading the books, investing in myself, and then for the first time, being able to get around other like-minded people. So I didn't like the other stuff too much, but the books, loved it. One coach, which was Jay Wong, which is how I first heard about you and saw the Wolf Triggers. Then from getting my coaching certification to help others, and then being a part of your program, just all of those things happened in the last 5 to 6 months. And just seeing how quickly that could come has blown my mind, and I'm grateful and so hopeful and excited to be here, first of all, but also for what's next, right? And HTC for me has just really shown me what it looks like to live life on a higher level. From all the assignments you've given me so far for being in batch 3, I do them at home, and I watched the YouTube videos with my mom, and she told me to tell you that she loves you. Hello to you all, and I'm excited to get to know more of you and just to go on this journey, and especially Sifu, Kayvon, Desmond, Jenny. I love the fact that I get to be here and spend this time with you all, and I love watching your Alpha Man Smart Woman show. I watch it with my girlfriend, and
And your mom?
And my mom has seen it as well, absolutely, and just we're all growing together just from, you know, those videos, and it's incredible to be able to do that with the people you love. So thank you.
Thank you.
Then I ran into Jason Capital around the same time that my house burned down. My son actually got a hold of the lighter and my house burned down. Luckily everything was okay, or him and my mom were okay. Well, then I just realized I was like I'm fucking sick of this. Like it's time to be great, like I've always wanted to be, and I knew I would be. Well, then leading up to I guess 6 months ago or so, and Jason Capital just made a big impact on my life. And then I seen this video that I hadn't read his emails for a long time. Well, then I just happened to look at one night after work, like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and I was like, who the fuck is this guy? You know, I never heard of you, Sifu. Best ever. And after 20 minutes, I was like, I gotta do this. I'll figure out a way, you know. And I did figure out a way. I put some money in the stock market. I sold that shit. I paid for it. And I mean, I don't know, and now I have such, now, again, when I was doing it, I was like, man, I don't know if I can't do sales. I've never done sales, never saw myself in sales. But it's not just sales. It's about, again, going back to helping people and making an impact in the world and helping others live their dreams as well, not just myself. If I can do that for myself too, you know, and show my son that you can do whatever the fuck you want to in life, then that's even more of a reason to do it, you know? again, I was like, I have to do this. And now I have that skill and I have that ability to go out there and make an impact in this world. And not only that, but show my son, like, I don't feel like I'm the best dad, you know? Because I work nights now and I don't get to see my son.
You're an awesome dad.
Sorry, bro.
You're a fucking awesome dad, man.
You're in the right place.
I try. And just to show him, and he even said, like, he's like, oh, you're going to see Dan Lok? I'm like, yes, I am.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. And just, I want to show him again that he can do whatever he wants to, just like I can, and everybody else in his family can. That right there means the most to me. But the fact that, like, y'all give me faith in the humans again.
Just that part.
Thank you.
We restored it. Faith.
This guy's been hugging me like every day. I'm very proud of you. I love you.
And he's changed so much even since a few months ago.
Every one of y'all too, for real. Again, for not only for giving me faith in the humans again, but like help, like giving me this like belief again that I can go out there and fucking make an impact in this world, you know, and just I don't even know. Thank you, Sifu. Like I said earlier, I had to say it. Like, I'm an introvert. I try not to be. I try to be an extrovert because I love, like, again, helping people. But it took a lot for me to even say earlier, like, I love you, Sifu. That just took a lot, even just to say that, you know? And, I mean, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. You and Jason Capital are like the fucking dynamic duo.
Yes.
Like, I used to think he was Batman, but now you're Batman. He can be Robin or Iron Man. He's a shit too, but you're fucking Batman. So, I mean, again, I wouldn't be here, you know, if it wasn't for you, if it wasn't for Jason too, but Jason, I don't think he's going to make as much of an impact as you are going to. And, I mean, just thank you. Thank you all again, for real. Like, y'all are like my family. I've told a couple people here, I'm closer with y'all that I've known just a few months than people I've worked with for 14 years.
Those shitty
casino.
I lost my home in the Thomas fire in December, and I told a lot of you guys about that. And it was like everything I had built was like whisked out from under me, and that's what made me open to taking this course. And I know when I posted that, Dan, you said this is going to be the turning point of your life, and I really watched that as true for me.
I grew up typical middle-aged or middle-income, lower-income, middle-income family. Neither parents went to college, and the whole focus was do well in school and go to college. So when I was a kid, I was a super shy nerd. And so I did well in school, and I went to college, and I dropped out after a year because I'm like, this is not for me. And I definitely had shiny object syndrome. I tried to start all kinds of business when I was in my late teens, early 20s. The only business I was ever reasonably successful at was a landscaping business, so it was kind of funny that you had a lawnmower on there. I know you had a landscaping business at one time. I got that to be reasonably successful, whereas I was self-employed. I didn't really consider that being a business. And I didn't love it enough to where I decided to grow it. And as a result of basically going almost a decade after high school and not really making any progress that I could see from a financial standpoint, I went back to college. I
So I got a degree in mechanical engineering and eventually an MBA. So here I am back in 2009 with $77,000 of college debt, credit card debt, and I couldn't get a job. So I was in bad shape and I was in a bad place mentally. I'm like, how the hell did I end up in this situation? So I defaulted on a bunch of debt, not the student loans fortunately. And there was one thought that I always held with me, and that was when I was a kid, I always knew I wanted to be a millionaire. I didn't have a clue how I was going to get there. My parents never discouraged that, but they always told me to go to school. That was the way to live a good life. And I always held the thought, even when I was down in a bad place, back in I was still working manual labor. I was working an $8 an hour night janitor job in 2011. And I'm like, how in the hell did I end up here? I got 2 college degrees with good grades, and I couldn't get even interviews. But I kept the faith that eventually, somehow, didn't have a clue at the time, I would make it back. In later 2011, things started to turn around where I was starting to get interviews in engineering, and eventually I did pick up a job. And then I just worked my ass off, purely focused on that to move up in that. And I've done really well. I moved up from working at $8 an hour job, which I actually got laid off from because the company lost that contract. And then after getting laid off, 2.5 years later, I was making over $100,000 in a job as an engineer. But then what normally happens when you start to get up to that level, it starts to level off quickly. And I'm working in the oil industry. And when I got in, it was booming. And then a couple of years later, it went down hard. Now, I didn't lose my job, but they went into salary freeze and then went to salary cut. And I'm like, this sucks. Like, I don't have control. Management doesn't really want to hear what you can do to really make things better because I haven't been there for 20 years. I'm not 50 or 60 years old. I'm not 20 either, but. And I knew sales was a valuable skill. Now, I hadn't read any of your stuff, not even FU Money. And I watched the webinar, and I don't watch many webinars anymore because I was a junkie on that stuff for years. And probably less than 15 minutes in, I'm like, yes, this is for me, just tell me what the price is, and I'll get to it. And I gotta wait, of course, another 45 minutes. But that's okay, because you get to see a sales presentation. And even today, since I knew that sales presentation, it was interesting to see the slight differences when you present it in person as opposed to on a webinar. So there's value there. But you got to the end, you said the price was only $24.95. I'm like, damn, that's freaking cheap. I'm like, I just spent $77,000 on a college education. Don't get me wrong, did I get value out of it? Yes, I'm making 6 figures. But like you said, that's a high income job. Yeah. And even I realized, I'm like, this is not gonna get me where I want to go. And I kind of knew that years ago, I was not good at asking for help, so I didn't realize I really needed a mentor, like a good mentor. One of the things that really resonated with me when I watched your presentation was your authenticity. For me, it seems to be very difficult in this world for people to be authentic with each other, even when they're working on a common goal, like even in the workplace. And it just drives me crazy. It's like, why do you have to lie? If you make a mistake, just own it. I make mistakes every freaking day, tons of them. And I'm an engineer, so we're designed to focus on finding mistakes. And for me, just be real. It's not that we're blaming anybody. I just want to see everybody grow. Now, one of the things that really wasn't just building the high income skill. It's cool. I'm like, the 100K doesn't interest me because I'm already doing that. Now, 100K, like working 4 hours a week, that'd be cool. But being able to grow that up, and one of the things I really love was not even just from HTC, but your basic training on the wealth triangle and how to basically build up, because being able to stay focused has been an issue for me at times in the past. And that was one of the most valuable lessons. It was kind of reinforced when you presented that again today. And for me, I really saw that this is a stepping stone. So the most exciting thing for me for HTC is not making the money. It's one of the things you said in one of your videos when you talk about success and then significance above that, and that your life right now is focused on significance because you don't need the money. You have plenty of money. You can do whatever you want. And for me, the really exciting thing for me is to see what this HTC family is going to do in the next couple of years, because most of this group, in the next couple of years, is going to crush out the success level. It's going to be gone, and we're all going to be focused on significance. Can you imagine the huge impact we're going to have in the world, and what we can really show people what's really possible in life? Because I see, even in my own family, people really don't believe that a lot of things are possible.
And it wasn't until going through HTC, especially the stuff with the lower self and going through the higher self, that actually changed things up. Seeing how you see Sifu, how you are as a professional, how you carry yourself, how you run your business, how you wear your suits. I love wearing suits, by the way. That's the exact embodiment of what I want in my life and how I want to function. And no one is out there caring this much to want to bring this kind of success in someone's life. And when I ran into Desmond today, and he just saw me, and he told me, he's like, he went to Kayvon, and he said, Fahad's like a man now. Those words were just impacting me so much, because it was also really funny, because I was actually extremely nervous, because I didn't expect to see him. So I'm a little more calm now. And just hearing something like that, especially after speaking to him when I wasn't the way I am right now, just impacted me to just a whole new level, because most of my life I just haven't lived as like a man. And I'm just amazed that, especially over the course of a few days, that I'm there now, and that I'm hanging out with Seafood Dan Lok and getting dinner with all this family here.
At a private club.
And it's a private club, and it's also a bad thing, because every other dinner I'm going to have now is going to be horrible.
The people that don't get the airtime, that don't get the picture on the posters. And so I don't know who all of you are. Obviously, I've never gotten to meet you, but thank you guys for helping them be the best versions of themselves and deliver the most value to us. That's all I got.
Judging by the money you have, not just by the person and the skills you have, I felt like I kind of was like in the backlight, so I couldn't prove myself. So for example, I can say that we go like 5 friends together and we go to a club and there's a party and there's like 5 girls around. I know that those girls, I didn't know, they actually telling me that you are the attractive guy, but I want to be with you, but this guy has the money, so sorry, it is how it is, So I always felt like I was like, I wasn't living up to my full potential. So the first chance I got to get there was the work and travel program, which was like to come to USA, work for a few months and earn some money and come back. So that's what I did for 3-4 years, and that's where I actually found out that I'm much better than those guys, because I already had the environmental exposure. So once I got those money, they kind of felt like they're hurting, because the only thing that was missing right there was the money. So I started earning like 10-12K for those 3-4 months of period, which was a lot of money back in my country, which I would spend through a period from 5 to 7 months, which was still good, because the salary in my country was like 500 euros, so I would have like $2,000 for a month. So I felt kind of amazing, but the only thing that was stopping me from continuing to do that was that I finished the college, so I couldn't do that anymore. So the only thing that I could do was that I can just move to the US and just reach all that I have back there and start a new life right here. So the best thing to do right then was the trucking business, which was the hardest thing to do for me. I always was scared from those kind of things, like the 18-wheeler stuff. You see the truck on the road, you're like, what the fuck is that? How am I gonna drive that?
I don't know why I was that weird kid. I never felt like I belonged there. It was kind of suffocating me. My parents, like, I grew up in a poor family and everything, like it's nothing new. And I never felt like I deserved to live there, so I went to college and I had the same opportunity to come with that work and travel program. I did it 3 times as well. First time I liked it a lot. Second time I thought about moving here. The third time I was so in love with this country that I literally stayed here. I was homeless at one point over a year and a half. I was living in my friend's houses, him as well. There were times when I didn't have money to eat. My friends were literally feeding me. And I'm super grateful for all of that, because it made me who I am, right? But probably the most difficult time of all was when I received the news that my father passed away. And I still remember I was driving. I was driving and I was crying so hard for days, right? Because I couldn't go back since I was here illegally. But I kept going, right? Mile after mile, tear after tear, wipe after wipe. Eventually that pain subsided. It was a period where Jason had his little down as well, and I didn't like his emails as much because it was pitch all the time. He was going through his own period or whatever. I hadn't opened his email for maybe a couple of months, and for whatever reason, I opened the email for the webinar.
Me too, brother.
And I watched the webinar, and the moment you said there will be an occasional use of profanity, no, fuck that. I was like, this is my guy, right? And all of that happened. What happened afterwards was like with the story with the, it's not even a story, it's a fact, with the Chinese bamboo tree. I don't know if you heard of it, but the Chinese bamboo tree, when you plant the seed, you gotta water it for 5 years straight every day, or the seed will die, right? If you miss a single day, the seed will die. But after 5 years, in a matter of 6 weeks, it grows 90 feet in the air. Okay? And that's what I feel like happened for me after I joined HTC, thanks to that beautiful man over there, Kayvon. I still remember that night when he helped me make that decision. I said, oh, that's worth thinking about. And you said, there's no thinking about it. I don't remember exactly what was
thinking about is not a business plan.
Yeah. Yeah. I was like, fuck it, it's gonna make a good story. So I joined. I didn't have money at this point. I had only 2 weeks left of cash from all of those 20,000 that was burning through. And on the email, I messaged them at Kayvon. I gave myself a word, like he said, that because it was Q4, it was October, I was like, I'm gonna give this e-commerce thing one last chance because this is the month that you make the money. What do you think I should do? And he emailed me back. He said, I got so much to tell you and help you, book a call. And I did. And I had no idea that this was a closing call or whatever. I thought this guy's gonna give me some advice, which he did. And 40 minutes in, out of nowhere, he's like, what's your email? Oh, this is my email. I thought, whatever, he wants my email. Give me a credit card. I'm like, what? I still started reading it, right? And that happened. It works. From then on, my whole life has been transformation.